Hello, hello! Welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show, a weekly Wheel of Time reaction show where we talk about the most recent Wheel of Time episode. Thank you for the sub, Shadow Dragons Productions. We have started off this really well. So today I'm really excited because one of the first people that I started welcome. Something's going. Okay, gosh, something always happens at the beginning of this. Some audio was playing. It's fine. So, one of the first people I ever streamed alongside, Sara from the Maidens of the Spear, is our guest today. So, welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show, Sara. We usually
So happy to be here.
Okay, great. Sorry, I'm talking over you. I am gonna let you talk.
No, I'm just from now on. I'm just gonna try to start talking when you start talking.
Oh, excellent. Okay, this will be a fun game. Okay, so Sara, you have been on the content creation sphere for like a few months now, a couple months, a while, a little bit.
Yeah.
And you've really kicked off. You're killing it over here. You're monetized on YouTube. You just raised a bunch of money for the Trevor project. What inspired you to get involved in all of this? And can you just kind of run me through what happened for your charity stream? Because I'm incredibly impressed and I missed it because I was out of town.
Yeah. Okay. How did I start getting involved in all of this? So my co-host on all my stuff, Mary Lou, she and I were comedy partners for years together. We had a ukulele duo. We would write and perform music. We were on a few improv teams together. And once the pandemic happened and live comedy died, we both desperately missed it. And we're both fans of the Wheel of Time and would have long conversations about the Wheel of Time anyway. And eventually we're just like, why don't we stream them and see what happens? So we did. And it's been incredible. People have responded super well. We've loved getting to meet everyone in the Wheel of Time community. So I've been reading Wheel of Time since I was 14, but after Memory of Light came out and I read the book, I was like, I don't know. I think I just stopped engaging with the online Wheel of Time community. I think partially just because I was sad that it was sort of over. I didn't know there was a TV show coming out. But started getting back into it, and I've been so happy I have. It was such an important part of my life as a teenager and in college, and I'm so happy to have it back.
Nice.
And as far as the charity thing goes, we did it. Why did we do it? Well, we did it to raise money for the Trevor Project, which is an incredible organization that provides a suicide hotline for queer kids, teens in crisis. And especially going into the holiday season, which is a time that's really hard for anyone who doesn't have a strong family network that they can celebrate with, and that is especially true for queer kids who are often missing that. So we wanted to do something for them, and we were inspired by Malkir's talks and What a Holiday, and just thought, well, okay, let's see if we can raise some money. So our first goal was $1,000, and we raised that much, and we just kept adding goals. We're like, all right, stretch goal, $5,000. If we hit $5,000, we'll watch The Winter Dragon. And then, at $15,000, our promise was we would all get dragon tattoos, because we didn't think we would hit that. But we are all now going to get dragon tattoos. We ended up raising $18,000 altogether.
Awesome.
It's been so inspiring to see how generous this entire community is. It's been fantastic. Yeah, really.
That's amazing.
Really so happy to be a part of it.
So do you anticipate getting matching dragon tattoos, or is it just...
They will not be matching. Okay. It was stipulated that they would not be matching.
We're just gonna get whatever we want, but it's gonna have a dragon. That was the rule.
Mary Lou wants more of a standard... Mary Lou's a pinup girl performer. She's in a kind of 1940s to 60s pinup girl ensemble.
Nice. That's cool.
And she wants something more in that American traditional style. I want the full-on clan chief dragon spiraling down the arm.
Oh, that's
vibe.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
it'd be amazing.
So cool.
And if Vic ends up getting a dragon tattoo, I don't know if we gave them so many opportunities to back out, but they have said they just want the word dragon, so we'll see. Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's cool.
Word dragon, where all the letters are made out of little dragons.
Yeah.
That would be something.
Well,
Sure.
Vic
Do
is
it.
Vic. Our friend Vic, who's our like non-reader reactor on our channel, is
He's hilarious, by the way.
Mhm.
yeah. Vic's so funny, but they
He's
are
hilarious.
they are their brother has kids, and rather than go by aunt or uncle, they apparently have always gone by the term dragon with their nibblings. So it just
Ooh,
happens
that's
to work
cool.
out for Vic that way.
It's awesome.
That's really neat.
Very cool.
It's very cool.
I like that a lot. What a killer stream! Like more than $18,000. Jesus. Well done.
It was nuts. People
Well
are so
done. That's
generous.
great.
It's incredible.
Okay. Well, awesome. Excellent introduction. Just to introduce the co-host, the Wheel and Chill Show, who you, if you're here, may already be familiar with, or maybe not. I'm Kritter XD. I do YouTube and Twitch, and I'm Egwene Alvira on Twitter, and I do TikTok, and on Instagram, and I'm all over the place, and I just got a Patreon also, so if you want to support me there, you absolutely can. Yay! And a fun, exciting thing, since Sara got a fun, exciting thing, that's probably way more exciting and better for the world than the fact that she just raised $18,000. I thank you for the follow, Miss Board on Twitch. I just got monetized on YouTube. Yay. So that just happened today.
So exciting.
All very exciting things. And Tavern had something awesome happen. Tavern, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us?
My name is Tavern. I am speaking in a weird accent tonight. No.
Please don't,
so
God.
I'm on. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'm on Twitter and TikTok, Redbubble, ePublic. I just started Instagram. So
Woohoo.
I'm on Instagram as well. So my designs will be going on there instead of on Twitter because I always feel bad when I put those on there. But I just hit 1,000 followers on TikTok,
Yay!
which I was extremely happy for.
Woohoo!
I was hoping to
Yeah.
get Twitter as well, but there's no way in hell I'm going to get 90 in the next handful of days. But I'm close there as well. So hopefully for the new year, I will hit that goal soon. That's it for me.
Yay! Very exciting. Winespring, you had some cool stuff happen over the weekend, right? What went down?
Yeah. I got to host a space on Gather Town with Amazon, and I made White Cloak burgers, and they were delicious.
Woo!
And
Aw.
they're live on the website. That's where I'm at, winespringcafe.com, and also on Twitter as Winespring Cafe, and Instagram, definitely there too.
What
Winespring
makes
Cafe
up-
also there. Yeah.
What makes a white cloak burger? It has
Oh.
like a sharp bird on it, or what
No.
is the distinction?
No,
It's better than that.
It's different than that. It's a burger with cheddar cheese and crispy white onions and marshmallow fluff.
Ooh,
There
And
it is. There's the
sriracha.
taste.
wow.
It's delicious. I made it on Gathertown. I ate it in front of everybody so they could see that it's edible and yummy. So
I'm still
Try it.
waiting.
Fluff on a burger.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my burger from UPS or whatever.
Y'all, Maids of the Spear just donated
Totally.
$5 as my first ever super chat now that I'm monetized
Aw.
on YouTube. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
yay.
Oh,
Of course.
You're a stinker,
Very
but thank
special.
you. That is very special. You'll have that forever now.
Stinker.
Sorry, that's what my mom would say. I don't know what I'm saying.
What a stinker.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Lots has happened. Thank you all for the follows and everything. Just so you know, before we get into episode 7, which is what we're here to talk about today, all of our information is in the description of this YouTube video, including Sarah's deets. Mistborn, thank you for the sub on Twitch. You guys are awesome. And yeah, so if you want to check any of that stuff out, the links are there, and so you can. Okay, let's talk about episode 7. Holy, the Dark Along the Ways, I believe, is what it was called.
Yes.
I guess what I've been ignoring the chat too, and now I feel like a bad person here. People are saying that it's very appropriate that a Maiden of the Spear is our guest today because of that insane cold open, which I completely agree with.
That's true. I take full credit for that scene.
So yeah,
As you shall.
let's do this here. Let me pull up one of my favorite photos just because what was her name? Magdalena Sitova is an absolute force of nature. And I feel like somebody who was someone who primarily does stunt work, the fact that she pulled out these insane stunts along with this amazing acting performance, for me, like, I was super, super impressed. Sarah, how did the scene hit you?
I mean, it was great. I loved it. How the action is so good. I thought, obviously, she's incredibly talented. She communicated so much without a single line, and every single guy that entered the scene, I was like, "That's Tam," and then like stabbed through the neck. Like, guess not.
Tam.
She killed so many more people while giving birth than I expected her to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can all... I think I counted and it was 6 total?
It's the 6 guys.
Okay, Tavern, I know you think that some guy got, like, stabbed in the chest and then somehow came back.
He didn't. There was a guy that she threw the spear at.
Uh-huh.
It hit him in the helmet, but it didn't kill him because you can see him in the background still kneeling and getting up. That's the third guy that came in without his helmet. The gray-haired guy.
Different guys.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
It's 6. It was 6. Let's vote. Everybody who thinks it was 6, raise your hand.
I say 9 canonically.
9.
Okay, that works too.
I say 5.
I need to Random Noman says the behind-the-scenes video about the robot camera used in that scene is very cool. I need to watch it. I had like family stuff this weekend, so I basically threw a YouTube video into the world and then left town, and I haven't done any of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see. Let me pull up another picture here because this is one hell of a fight. I think we had all seen this ahead of time, but the cape pull, like, okay, well that's not anywhere near where I needed it. It was so good. Let me tweak this here.
That cape pull was insane.
And I feel like
I have no.
Oh my god.
Whatever you want to do.
I'm getting super chats. I just gotta thank you guys.
Yes,
Vernon, Copeland, and Rant Almore. $5 and $4.99. Epic Cold Omen. Happy Money Day. Thank you so much. We're celebrating.
No kidding.
It's a huge celebration. Anyways, there's you guys are great. I love you all. I think it was a great choice to make, well, not choice, I guess this is like canon, but the fact that these cloaks were like bright yellow on this white snow, white clouds in the background, like Aiel garb was pretty white to be like camo, you know? I just think it was visually like stunning. Tavern, how did this scene hit you?
It was incredible. I mean, as you just pointed out, the colors popped. So blood popped. The cloaks popped. Everything that wasn't silver or white or whatever really, really stuck out. One of the questions was answered for me from the first ale that we saw, which was in the cage with the arrows, and they had the breastplate. The close-up on her shows it's just stitched leather, which I thought was amazing. The stitching on it and the design on her vest is really incredible. But the choreography and the camera, like they said in the behind-the-scenes footage, the camera they used doesn't usually get used in TV. The guy the director was like, yeah, I actually convinced somebody to let me use it. It's a robot arm, and it goes so fast that if you're not in the right spot, it will knock you the hell out. Yeah, it will jack you up. Yeah. So that and the fact that her facial expressions were so magnificent throughout the entire scene.
Yeah.
Like later on since it's part of the cold open that was just split, right, from Min's chat, and we see the rest of the finish of this. The facial expressions in like a 10 to 12 second window, and Tam reaches out and takes her hand, and she goes from fear, shock to appreciation to just joy, all in a split second, was insane.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It was. I totally agree. Sandan Galacta's teeth kind of made me laugh here. I'm glad Bella was able to clear out the rest of the garrison before Tigraine got to the last 5. Totally agreed. And
Definitely.
I'm
Definitely.
really annoyed because I had this like chat highlight thing all set up. I'm like staring at it right now, and I it's not letting me click on the chats. So I'm gonna try to call you guys out, but I don't, for some reason I can't highlight you because there's always something, isn't there? There's always something. Hello, Watt family, Wild Gardenia, what up? Everybody say thank you, Bella. Caleb, yes, thank you, Bella.
Can somebody, one of you all, mention the veil? Because people were bitching that it wasn't there. So
okay, Winespring, how do you feel about the fact that there wasn't a veil?
I didn't think about it.
There was
at
a
all.
veil.
I mean, there was, but she didn't have it up. You know what I mean.
I wasn't worried
Come
about
on.
it.
Yeah. All right. Fine.
I was not worried about
I
that
have
at all.
theories about that, but I'll talk about it later.
Why don't you talk about it now?
Because I don't know if it's spoilers. Well, because okay, so real quick, and I'll let you guys discuss it. She had her veil up. She got away from the battle, and it went from fighting to giving birth or life. So she pulled it down. Subsequent fighting that happened with the guards was just in defense, while she was trying to give life rather than take life.
So that's on them. We weren't in fighting mode anymore. She was just putting up with them.
Yeah.
I have an alternate theory.
Okay, let's do
George.
this.
If you dig really deep into the Aiel lore, if you think back to the Shadow Rising deep in the Stone Dog Sept, you'll remember that when actors are on camera doing dramatic scenes, we prefer to be able to see their facial expression.
Absolutely right.
So veils make it harder to do that, and that's just a bit of Aiel wisdom that I think they wanted to implement in the show.
I get that as well. I mean,
Great job. Yes.
Thank you.
I get that, and that's why Loyal doesn't walk fast because of his shoes. I get it.
And Spice Girl shoes, man.
Yeah, those are something. Those really are something. When we
those
saw
are some
them
boots.
in the library at first, like
Oh,
the first
God,
time I
this is-
noticed them, I was like, wow, those are unique. Good for him though. The foot.
I have to say, through this whole like cold open before we just move away from it, like I cried like the whole time. Did anybody else cry watching this scene?
My wife did.
I
mean,
I had a lot of emotion.
it was super emotional.
It was. Yeah.
It was so emotional. I thought about like all my friends like who have, had to like go through things while they're pregnant, like preeclampsia and gestational or however you say it, gestational diabetes, something like that. Like all these things, when they're pregnant. And I was just like, women, we have a hard time pregnant.
We're so powerful. I was definitely pretty misty, but like I was like one part misty, one part just like yes, you know what I mean? Like it was a really hard thing to contain.
Sure.
Just like my absolute glee at French nerd says cries women. That's exactly literally just like women. I loved it.
For sure.
I thought it was great.
For sure.
I think Magdalena Satova does deserve an Emmy. Somebody said that in the chat, and I agree with you. I don't see, and like seriously, she was in labor. You know what I mean? Like she had to have actually been in labor to pull that off. I don't know. That's my theory. Everyone's throwing out theories. She actually was having a baby during the scene, and she got stabbed.
Crawling scene. Yeah, that crawling scene was insane. Everything about her performance was amazing.
It was great. She does not get a speaking credit. Well, I guess she just like yelled.
It doesn't. If it said in the script and she repeated on film, I'm assuming that's speaking credit.
It should be.
So that's what I'm going with.
What is the cursing level
like
in
it.
this show? I should ask.
Oh, you can
curse,
say whatever
yeah.
the hell you want. Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck
For
speaking
sure.
credits. That's some ableist bullshit.
It is. I agree. And Sir Whipcracker, thank you for the sub on Twitch. You guys are very generous today, and I appreciate it.
Killing it.
Yeah. So she's let's see, Sudlin of the Ghost Chanel's talking about the mask still, trying to give birth wearing one, like a mask in this day and age, which some women have had to go through. It would suck. It would really suck. I think she has no toe, but maybe. I mean, it obviously is up to her to decide, as we all, well, as book readers know.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was a
Wingard.
really great scene. What are you laughing at, Tavern?
Wingard, She's like, I had twins. Pretty sure I couldn't get my ass off the ground. Amazing.
I mean,
It
truth,
was.
right? From what I
Yes.
hear.
Cries
Oh,
of
that's
women.
great.
It's true. All right. Well, I feel like we've. It was a crowning achievement, you could say. Sith guy. Are we just
You
gonna
could
keep
definitely say that.
with the birth
could.
puns?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
beautiful.
fun.
I think that was great. I really like that. All right. We so at the end of the cold open, before we move on, and since we all know what actually happened in the episode, we don't really have to linger on this very much. But we did get a little hint. If people who didn't read the books were looking real hard, they could have noticed that there was a heron
Yeah.
Yes.
on the sword, and so
That's a bird sword right there.
that is a bird sword right there. And
So-
to the extent they haven't explained much about the heron marked blade, at least we've seen it several times focused on by the camera, and once again, here it is. So I like how, obviously this is just storytelling 101, I guess, but they're just like putting little things in there that keep circling back and keep getting emphasized. And it's like, did you pay attention whenever I emphasized this before? Because here it is again. And if you paid attention the first time, you might know what's happening before the big reveal. So I don't know. I thought this was a cute little touch, personally.
Mhm.
Sharp bird sword, says the meme reborn. That is exactly it.
Good. Good observation.
Thanks. I appreciate it. This is what we're all about here, is making observations.
It says, wait, before we go, can we do a signing sheet for Michelle C. Smith for being cast as future Maiden of the Spear if this is going to be standard?
I don't know who that is. Michelle C.
We've talked about her before. She's the one that does all the Star Wars lightsaber videos.
Oh, on TikTok. Yeah. That would be.
She's insane.
And
Yeah,
she's even. It looks
great.
like she's a redhead too, or at least
believe so.
she dyed her hair that color at one point. So that would be cool. That would be pretty cool. A lot of non-reader reactors were on the red hair, Rand's mom thing immediately. Okay, well, fine. So I guess they didn't have to see the sword. I think it was a good touch, guys, but whatever.
Yeah. Sword was awesome.
It was if they didn't figure out in one way, they could figure out another. So we made it into the ways. Let's talk about the ways here, because we can't linger on the cold open the whole time. Even though, actually, one last thing about the cold open. For me, that was the best cold open. Would you guys agree? Best cold open.
Yes, I will agree to the best cold open.
Okay, got a little agreement at a tavern. Yeah, you guys are like cycling through. We had the Reds capturing.
Cycling through it. Yeah, it's the best cold open.
Okay, yeah. I feel like the runners up are the Logain cold open and Nynaeve stabbing Trolloc in the middle of a pool. Those are.
Yeah.
And the Swan one was
that-
really cool. It was very pretty as well, but not as cool.
I want to give credit to the White Cloak cold open. We first meet Valda and he's eating the bird.
Oh,
That was
I
an
don't like that
incredible
one.
introduction to the White Cloaks. Not as in I like it. I'm just saying as far as cold opens go, it was a good
Yeah, we
intro
know.
to the White Cloaks.
No, I understand, George. For me, at least, I don't like watching women get burned.
I barely showed that. It was a little charring.
No, I'm just kidding. I thought it was a good
charring.
point, but
I was
I'm
focused on
sorry.
the bird.
It's late. I'm not used to streaming this late.
I'm sorry.
I'm being unnecessarily sassy, George, and I apologize.
No, you're perfectly.
But
Listen,
I do think.
Welcome to the team.
Bring the sass. Bring the
I did
sass.
put up. I did say this was going to be the fight in the blight tonight.
Here we
so
are.
We're good.
Fighting the blight. The first one was not good, says Sunlover. I think the first one was the worst one, if I had
Yes,
to
very much.
weigh
Yes.
in. But Sarah, did you ultimately agree? You think this one was numero uno for you?
Oh, me definitely.
Yeah. It was sick. I mean, super cool. All right, now, guys, the name of this episode was "The Dark Along the Ways," right, or something like that, something to that
The-
effect. And you know who the darkness didn't affect? Our boy Perrin. he can see everything. Look at his little squinty face. Sorry, I got the least flattering photo of Marcus Rutherford
welcome.
on accident.
Yeah,
Is
dark
that yours?
vision,
Because I have one
60
in there from
feet.
that same thing as well. I don't know which one it is, but
Same.
yeah.
Sarah, his dark vision is what would you give him? His stat?
Well, I think he's at least got dark vision 60 feet. He might have.
Easy.
What's the next level of that?
120, I think.
I don't know.
They go from 60 straight to 120 with is it ultra vision? Oh, I forgot what that was called.
There's some other vision level.
I agree, Candy Simo. Marcus does still look cute even with an awkward picture. He just like squinch. Like if I wish I looked that cute, squinting. Like
And
I'm
it's
just gonna
snarly.
say it. Perrin is the worst I Spy player ever. Like I spy a rock.
Wow, wow, Perrin. Thanks. How'd you see that?
Yeah. It's like what the fuck? Was that?
This was something cool though. I liked it because it was once again another thing like what's going on with Perrin. He had golden eyes a couple episodes ago. But then also just generally the fact that like the ways have been invaded, which we eventually see in more detail. But I feel like
Do y'all think Perrin's ever gonna have perma golden eyes?
We're hoping. I have my
don't
fingers
know.
crossed.
I just watched the entire second season of The Witcher this weekend, and
Oh,
Geralt
yes.
had golden eyes the whole time. So I was
Yes.
like, this feels like a possibility. I don't know. Maybe that's
You
just
can
me.
get the contacts at the hair place down the street. God dang it!
But to be fair, though, like as I've mentioned in a previous stream, like Daniel Radcliffe's eyes would not allow for the contacts in Harry Potter,
Right,
which is
yes.
why Harry had the wrong colored eyes. So like if that's the case for Marcus, then like I'll allow it. Fine. You don't have to.
We don't want to torture him
You
to
don't have
have
to go
if that's the
blind.
case or not. We don't know if that's the case. We're just making excuses for him at this point.
Name me thrills. Just so you know, every time we talk about Perrin, my mind sings the 007 Golden Eyes theme song. I get that. The video game music was
Very
iconic
nice.
also. So like,
Funny.
yeah,
Yes.
it's just always in the back of my mind. But Nerdy Guns, I'm only on episode 5 of Witcher. Well, I'm not going to spoil anything. We just know that he has golden eyes.
Yeah. He has gold. That's not a spoiler.
That's it.
He
That's
says-
it.
Yeah, he has gold eyes.
As I was saying, though, this episode has our boy Loyal being absolutely vital to the equation, which a lot of people were like, oh, why do we even need Loyal if we don't need the Aventusora leaf? Sorry, I feel like I'm being very condescending, but I just feel like sometimes you just gotta trust. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like Loyal's important because he's like interpreting these waypoints or whatever. I can't remember if that was what they're actually called in the books. And waypoints, right?
Stones. They're called something.
Waystones.
Waystones. Waystones. maybe?
Waystones.
I can't remember
Something like that, yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, he was doing such a good job, right? And they're all hanging out, and it was a good scene. I don't know, Sarah, how did you like how the ways looked?
Yeah, so I think the aesthetic choices that were made were very good. I liked the darkness. I thought the option to go for making the ways out of this like hex grid was a cool idea. It felt kind of sci-fi, like modularly generated things. My issue with the ways is that they felt super small, and I wanted a bit more sense of scale. Like we didn't really see islands flowing off anywhere, and we lost some of the kind of MC Escher impossibility of the ways. Like to my non-reader friends, they were like, okay, so the ways are what, like 50 yards with one turn? So there was one fork in the road, and so we needed Loyal to know the one fork which direction to take, and then we walked another 20 yards and we were out of the ways.
Yeah.
That's
So
totally
I missed
fair.
some of that.
That's
Yeah.
completely
It was really quick and yeah.
Winespring.
The sci-fi feel is a good observation. I like that. It totally has that sci-fi feeling, and I love how the camera goes like over the top and looking down. I think to me it made it feel bigger, but I get how it did. The whole scene it didn't take up much time there.
It didn't.
Oh, and the scene when Loyal gets to the Waystone, he's like, I need some time here. I need some patience or
Oh
something.
god, yes.
And Rand says, if he's asking for patience, then we're all gonna die. I thought it was such a good quote.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was good.
The-
I liked it.
The whole behind the scenes for this is it's really cool. Like Sarah said, it was very modular. They actually built a modular set with these hexes. To me, it just looked like a D&D map almost. But they made it so they could move things around. So they had like, I want to say like 20 or 30 yards, and they would just shift the sections around to make different patterns with it.
Oh wow!
for them
So
to
it
walk.
literally was 30 yards.
Yeah, it was literally and very modular. My favorite Loyal comment.
Really creative.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In this, aside from the one that Winespring just stated, I say it was one of my favorite because it was so against everything, was Moiraine Sedai and the Warder are moving pretty fast, and we Ogier are not known for our speed. I was like, I stopped breathing for a second. I was like, what?
I mean, they're not.
Okay.
You're not supposed to be
not
hasty.
run a horse.
They can outrun a horse.
Well, I mean, as far as I guess, like mentally, they like to think through things, and
True, but
conversationally,
he was talking about walking.
land speed. I get it. Okay, you're right. You're right.
I was like, what? And then I had to think about it. Okay, it's the damn shoes.
Yeah.
It's like from the birdcage. These shoes. You know, he couldn't walk.
Oh, birdcage.
He
Yes,
couldn't
good.
run in the shoes. So that's why.
Great reference.
You're welcome. That's why they made his speed a thing and made him slow.
Fair enough. And random Nomen, I was thinking the same thing. Believe basalt forms like that naturally, so there's some basis for it. The visualization of the ways for me looked like basalt columns, which Iceland is I visited a few years ago. It's like one of my favorite places in the world. Beautiful, and they have formations like this where it's just like there are these weird columns that look completely alien. So it is kind of a sci-fi vibe, but it's also like semi-natural, so you can kind of see that like maybe at one point they really were green, you know, and they really were like real and more natural seeming. So yeah, that's just I think it's cool, but I agree. I kind of agree now that you said that it does feel small compared to what it felt like in the books, which was like, if you look up, you can see, you know, ways above you as if like you would be upside down if you were walking on them, essentially, which is like kind of a trippy thing to hear.
I think that's just what was missing, was like the physical set they made was incredible, but just a shot or two where they pan up and just give us some like CGI crisscrossing impossible bridges and stairways up into infinity, and that's all I wanted.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe they'll do that next time. Maybe.
Yeah, there's still time. Hopefully we'll see that.
There is still time.
Yeah.
So then, while they're taking their ease, after spending 5 minutes in the ways, Egwene wakes up, right? And and did we? Yeah, we heard the whistling. We did, and then all of a sudden we got this disgusting being.
I'm gonna call him Keto Trolloc. That's what I'm calling him.
Keto.
Because
The
he
Trolloc.
looked like he was starving. That's all I'm saying.
So I guess he was like left behind. That's the impression that you got. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then
Poor Keto.
That's his name now.
and then we did pull this for those who didn't notice, which I actually didn't. I'm kind of embarrassed. People told me after I posted my video on YouTube that Fane was in the ways, and by God, he was. Take a look. So I feel like at this point, like I, as a non-reader, even though I am a reader, would have gotten the impression by now that Fane is sketch as fuck. Do you think we know now that he's a bad guy?
He never gave you that impression.
What, Sarah?
Gave you that impression?
I said he's just trying to help his friends. He's worried about them.
Spoiler. Okay, Sindar actually asked. This is a good question. Sindar Gaming asked what the spoiler policy is on this, and with these streams, I always mean to say it at the beginning, and then I always forget. We go full spoilers for the show from out of the gate. We save full spoilers for the books until the end of the stream, and I will throw up a spoiler flag, and it will be no holds barred. We can talk about the very end of the series without worrying about it, but until then, I ask that you don't spoil anything that you can't know from the show, or at least extrapolate from the show. That's them's the rules. So I hope you guys follow them. Okay, thanks. Fane was cosplaying as a basalt column.
That's so hilarious.
That's why I didn't see him. That's why
I have a question
for
you guys about.
That's great.
So we know he's going to show up when there's whistling, for the most part, right? So I'm trying to figure out, because he shows up before the Trollocs show up, of course, at Beltane. We're fairly confident that was him and Shadar Logoth, the shadow, kind of led Matt toward the dagger.
Because the whistling, yeah.
Well, there's the whistling, and then we hear the whistling, and we see him in Tarvalon. So and then we hear the whistling and we see the trolloc pop up and then we see him. So I don't know if he's warning them, as like if he's hurting them as well. I know he's following them, but maybe he's trying to just warn them so that they don't get surprised because he doesn't want them to die or something too soon. Because he kind of warned them about this trolloc before it showed up. You could say that in Shadar Logoth he warned them about Mashadar before it showed up. They were whistling and they were awake. If not, it would have caught them by surprise.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're
I'm
saying.
not
Sure about
convinced.
Tarvalon.
Yeah, you're doing great.
I don't know if it all fits, but I'm just saying. It's a theory.
That's a theory. Well done there. Sarah, do you think that's a viable theory for non-book readers?
I didn't. I never perceived the whistling as actually happening in the show. I thought that was just for us as a TV audience, a soundtrack.
Oh.
I'll
Except
respond to it.
except for presumably at the very, very beginning when we saw him whistling. Like whenever he was
Yeah,
in
we
the...
saw him.
Yeah.
We see him whistling, going into winter. When he's like going into the two rivers, but
Mhm.
I don't think he's sitting there in the waves whistling.
That's fair.
Well, there was whistling that woke Matt up in Shadar Logoth. Egwene woke up to the whistling in the ways. They were in Tarvalon when there was whistling there, and they probably didn't hear him because they were in a crowded area.
Well, let me respond to that. I think that
Yeah.
that's actually kind of a cool thought in that, like, we get introduced to Fane. First, we didn't hear the whistling when we saw Fane. Immediately. We saw a fade,
Yes, the Murdrell.
and then we saw Fane, and the whistling, right, kind of continued, didn't it? Because
Yes.
wasn't the whistling started before that? And so, to me, like, that's actually kind of a cool theory where it's just, this is like, okay, get creeped out now. Like, that's our cue to be like, ooh,
Coming,
so,
yeah.
so something's gonna, something's happening. Because, I mean, Egwene, first of all, she can listen to the wind, and we've seen that she has, like, a spidey sense when it comes to bad guys. Like, she can kind of, like, know
Yeah.
when they're coming. So that explains her waking up. Matt is, according to Moiraine, more susceptible to the taint of Mashadar. Right? Yeah, Mashadar. That's the in the Shadow Logoth. And so he might have sort of woken up with the overwhelming urge to go to the dagger because he was being tempted by the powers that be in there. You know what I mean? It didn't have to be the noise. It could be the situation. So
Possibly.
it could really go either way, I think.
Somebody said that Egwene can also feel the darkspawn.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Egwene can like feel baddies.
Mhm.
That's the vibe we're getting.
Her spidey sense.
Her
is what
spidey
she
sense
referred
is what
to,
I meant. Yeah.
Do you think she feels them, or do you think she hears them like on the wind, sort of like when the first time that they were on the bridge, her and Nynaeve, and she heard the screeching and whatever of the trollocs on the wind?
I don't think that was literal. I think that
I also don't think that was literal.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's more of a spidey sense. I mean, if we're drawing real world
It's her
comparisons,
weenie tingle.
it's her. That's
her
her.
weenie
That's
tingle.
what that is.
Oh my
Dame
gosh.
Alex asks, "What if Fane is whistling to guide the Trollocs?" Well, that would be something I would imagine we'll find out.
That's another, yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting theory.
Yeah. So, anyways, we had and something pretty exciting happened other than Fane and the Trolloc and Egwene channeling to get rid of the Trolloc.
The snow globe.
The snow globe, which was cool. I liked this a lot. Winespring, like how are you feeling at this moment?
Oh man, snow globe. I haven't heard it referred to as that. So I
You're
love
welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
Totally see it. Perfect. This was super emotional too. Like just seeing Nynaeve like stepping forward and just sending it out. It almost looks like it's coming from her chest, not just her hands. And when she falls back and Lan catches her, it just was like one of the sweetest moments too, to just see this powerful woman be caught by a powerful man. It was like, yes. So the whole thing was beautiful. Highly approved.
I agree. So I feel like in a lot of these instances when we see Aes Sedai channeling, it's very frilly. You know what I mean? There's a lot of movement. You know, Moraine's making a lot of weaves, whatever. And when Nynaeve channels, it's like an actual explosion. Sarah, have you like noticed that? What do you think they're doing with that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the Nynaeve bubble or the snow globe or whatever you want to call it is yeah, it's not a weave. It is just a pure expulsion of power.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
my main thought on the bubble, I think it was fine. I mean, like, isolated as a scene, I think it's very cool. I like it visually. I think she can't bubble again
I
to
agree.
get them out of a tight spot.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
completely
Twice
agree.
now.
Yes.
It's what do they call
Mhm.
that in film? It's the ghost army in Lord of the Rings. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
Deus Ex Machina.
Machina.
Yes, it's Deus Ex.
Yeah.
She's their
Mm.
Deus Ex Machina, and it does feel like
Right.
Moiraine should have also had the presence of mind to do something. Granted, she was gonna have to like open the gate and handle.
He was working on the way gate.
Yeah, I mean, so like
Yeah.
technically she was kind of busy, but yeah, that was a lot. Another time for Nynaeve to be absolutely incredible. Tavern, did any of
Yeah.
the whispers stand out to you?
Okay, so real quick on the snow globe, explodes like that. She doesn't channel normally because she wasn't trained, so she doesn't know the hand movements. She just
yeah.
burst out of her. Two, again, she was angry when this happened
Mm-hmm.
at the situation, so I'm just gonna leave that there.
And the
As far as the
whispers.
whispers, I thought were really, really cool that they used the own actors' voices to haunt themselves, which was amazing. So it's Perrin giving himself crap and Moiraine giving her crap, and only one that we didn't hear whispers for was Loyal.
Yeah. What the
Yeah,
hell?
I went and watched again.
Now-
What's up with that?
Because I'm pretty sure we would have heard, "We'll get married. You'll have to stop writing your book." You're gonna... It would be something ridiculous like that for Loyal, because I don't think he's afraid of anything.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Which is not true. No, but yeah, we didn't hear Loyal. I thought the whispers were cool. They weren't as gruesome as I thought they would be.
Yeah.
They were internal fears for sure, but they weren't as gruesome as I thought they would be. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you were
Kind
expecting.
of like the debilitating fears that'll just really knock you down. Not the super scary stuff, but the stuff that actually brings you down.
Yeah. Because in the books, I guess this is supposed to like literally drive you mad, and I guess after long enough it would. But it did feel like it was. You know, I could have taken that for a little bit. He's just like
Yeah.
tell me bad
Yeah.
things, you know, like whatever. Like it's the things that I tell myself half the time anyways. So like this is no new information.
no.
Well, I mean, I feel like everybody, like anybody who has any amount of like self-doubt has moments like that. And so obviously it's not a comfortable thing to have them like hammered into you, but it's not
Yeah.
completely foreign. For some people. So yeah, it could have been more brutal. I think you're right. Do you think we didn't get Loyal whispers because like we just didn't have time, or is there some other reason, Sarah? Do you think?
I think it's just a time thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say we do know at least in the books. This is not established canon in the show, I don't think. But in the books, we do know that even Ogier are driven insane in the ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's that it wasn't affecting him. He didn't appear in the episode at all after they got out of the ways.
Yeah.
So I think he just got cut.
Yeah,
all
just
around.
in the court, right? At Feldara,
Yeah,
and then
he was at
that's
the
it.
court. He got to the court.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
he Vamos on out of there.
R.I.P.
that
Loyal.
was interesting.
I think it's just the product of 8 episodes for a frickin' massive book, and you know they can only be an hour long. So Amazon, feel free to expand that.
Well, they can't only be an hour long. They just refuse to go any longer.
Okay. Also, just since we're mildly transitioning out of the ways here, thank you, Justin Natiena, for the sub. And yeah, poor Loyal. Loyal went to the library. We lost him. You know, good for him though. Like everybody else is having all kinds of angsty moments, and he didn't have to deal with that. So that's awesome for him. guess. But
yeah, so in the whispers, we heard that Nynaeve was old enough to hear her parents being murdered. Is that right?
yeah.
So I thought earlier they had mentioned or alluded to the fact that she was like a baby when the wisdom brought her. But maybe I'm wrong there.
Well,
It's just that she was a child.
No, I think
remembers-
Moiraine referred to her as a baby, but
Yeah, and she remembers what her parents used to say to her, so she was old enough to remember that.
yeah.
Remember the whole old tongue thing?
Yeah.
So she wasn't a baby. She was old
I
enough
don't know if
to-
that was that she was told that or.
That is
Seems
pretty
to me like
It
she's
was
impressive.
the
old
last
enough.
thing. It was the last thing they said before they
Right.
died.
So assuming
Uh,
nobody
I-
else was there with her.
Yeah, she could be
Yep.
3 or
Mhm.
4. I mean, you can form a strong memory from a traumatic event as young as 3.
100%.
Yeah.
The one for Lan was interesting because all it said for Lan was you can't save her or something, or you can't protect or save her, and now you're left to figure out who they're talking about.
Little ambiguity. I like it. I like it.
Which was kind of cool.
I did. Well, and then right after that, he went and saved Nynaeve. So it was like, well,
Mhm.
Screw you, matching chin.
who is it, Sarah? I said it's Nynaeve. I think it's Nynaeve too.
What did I say something wrong?
No, we
No.
just both think it's Nynaeve. I don't even know if you can
mean-
hear me with me whispering.
To the whole. To
Oh
the
yeah,
whole,
well, you're coming in loud.
We
and clear,
can.
actually.
Oh,
We
okay.
can hear you.
Okay.
talking about to the whole you can't save her thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think they left it ambiguous so that people like us would talk about it. But
The whole purpose of that line.
okay, French nerd and on Twitch on the other hand thinks it was Moiraine because he knows that she's on a suicide mission. So she is getting a little wistful. What's the word? She's getting like sappy kind of a little bit. I don't know. Okay.
Vernon,
Yeah, Vernon.
Vernon bringing a super chat in. Sorry to.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is important
The
stuff.
question.
Vernon Copeland with the super chat for $5. Thank you so much. Did Perrin kill his wife or was it self-defense? On my rewatch yesterday, she is poised to strike him when he hits her. So I was on the maybe she's a darkfriend train for a long time because I noticed this and there weren't any living trollocs, but it feels like in interviews and stuff they were like she was not a darkfriend. Like Rafe has said she was. I think that she wasn't a darkfriend. I'm pretty sure. So
On the one hand, Vernon, Laila is not a dark friend. Never was. And please stop besmirching her badass memory.
she was great.
On the other hand, he was acting in self-defense because self-defense is based on what he's perceiving, and he thought he was in danger. But no, Laila wasn't trying to kill him. He just thought she was a Trolloc because there was motion in the side of his eye, and he was in a blood rage.
Seconded.
Yeah.
I don't think it was
Mhm.
murder. If anything, maybe involuntary manslaughter. and now that we've broken that down,
The jury's in.
a good question though. I did until outside sources came in and they were like definitely not a dark friend. I was like maybe she's a dark friend, and so
I never doubted my girl Laila.
I mean, she was awesome. Now that she's not a dark friend, the
Was.
fact that she was like taking down trollocs, you know what I mean, in a confined space like that forge was pretty impressive. I mean, good for
Okay,
her.
but really, how can people trust us? Because we also love Dana, who was a dark friend.
Well, you could love
I mean,
things that are bad
I
for
love-
you.
yeah.
I think that's a common trope, is it
I
not?
just cannot eat. I will not eat her soup. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
stew, whatever the hell that was, not happening.
Yeah.
Honestly, I bet it's delicious.
you know,
And I would try the soup.
Dana was giving it to me. Yeah.
What are they calling it? Community stew or whatever?
I would eat anything Dana fed me.
I think this is the way. I think we kind of all
we're being
agree.
derailed. We're
Oh, right, you're
falling
right.
into chaos.
Speaking of people that we love
Same.
who have showed up in the Wheel of Time, how about Uno Mess to everybody? How exciting!
Ash, blood and bloody ashes, go kissing. Oh,
I'm
It was
really.
a good moment.
I have a question about his eye patch.
Okay, what's the question?
The eye didn't come in until later, right?
That's true.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. The painted eye, or right
Oh,
now
the
he's got a
painted
stitched eye on
eye.
there.
I'm actually, George, I agree 100% with you that the show is entirely ruined.
No, I'm not
I'm
saying
going
it's
to leave the
ruined.
stream now.
I'm not saying it's ruined. I'm just saying I'm trying to remember there was nothing on the eye patch.
No,
until
there wasn't.
later on.
He
Okay,
painted the eye
Yeah.
on later on. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Winespring.
Want
This
that
is
eye
a
patch.
question for you, really quick. Luke Ice Jedi asks, "Will Dana's soup
Yeah.
be in the Watt cookbook? Will it be on
Ooh.
winespringcafe.com?"
Ooh. You got fans.
Yes.
Yes! Hell yeah! We're gonna get it.
We did it, folks.
We did it. We,
Mission
all gonna-
accomplished.
We're all gonna drink half beers and send them to her so she can add it.
you know,
Ooh,
you know,
delicious.
one
Let's do
like
it.
I'm no cook, but
Beer
sometimes
cheese.
I boil brats and beer. That could be an element
Mhm.
of the soup.
For
like,
sure.
I'm just
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah, beer is used.
Just
in
gonna
all
make a
kinds of
note
cooking.
right now.
Just
Wait,
go ahead.
Critter,
What?
I thought you were in the Midwest.
I am. What do you mean?
You're boiling brats and beer?
I have.
This is the polka too.
I am. I am
I'm a
of
joke. It feels extremely
Germanic.
Midwest.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I-
what do you mean? I'm like, are you coming
Yeah.
from my Midwestern heritage? Like,
No.
the town that my parents were raised in was like 100% German.
I've just literally never heard of that
Hmm.
happening. But if someone were to say,
Seriously?
I'm boiling brats and beer, where am I? I'd be, well, you're either in Germany or you're fucking Midwest.
Well, there you go. I can't believe
Right
you've
on
never
both
heard of
counts.
that. Winespring,
I've
have
never
you
heard
heard
of
of that? As a cook
Yes,
person?
Yes, but I lived in Germany for a while, so I've
Okay.
gotten to eat the delicacies.
Excellent. Well, now that we know how to make brats in the best way possible, we and talked briefly about Uno. Somebody said Guy Roberts is a treasure. Sulin of the Goshi and Aiel, I completely agree. The fact that he's been interacting with Twitter of Time and like Insta of Time, like he's so
Yes.
cool. I think we can say that we stand, right? Like I don't know. He's
Yeah, for sure.
Did you see his daughter's post?
yeah, like from her
that
TV.
was so cute.
That was
Yeah,
so
that was so cute.
that was
amazing.
So
Gotta love it.
cute, and I'm really
Mhm.
excited that this is no spoiler, but presumably we're gonna see a lot of him in season 2. I hope. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
I hope
I
so.
love the fact that he's like a foot and a half shorter than everybody else around him.
He's exactly how I pictured.
He's amazing. He's
Uno.
amazing.
Perfect.
I feel like we're taking way,
Yes.
way too much time on Uno, but
No, we're not. We're
but
not.
he's exactly how I pictured him from the books. I feel like this casting was just so spot on. I'm such a fan.
Another super chat.
Oh, I didn't get the beep. It didn't beep at me, but it looks like Vernon Copeland. Good judgments. This show has brought me to Team Nynaeve. I feel like she is just a smidge more likable in the show than she was in the early books. I personally think that. I don't. Do you guys agree? Like I feel like she's got the spirit of Nynaeve 100%. Because she was always this person, this super strong, like still stubborn. I don't know, like incredible, caring, protective, all the adjectives. But like I
Powerhouse.
think she's a little more likable because she's a little less angry in the show. Winespring, would you agree?
Yeah, I liked her in the books though, so like a lot.
Yeah.
She
Me
was
too.
definitely like my favorite fan, or my favorite character in the books.
Throughout?
So yeah,
From
I
the
love what
beginning?
they're doing in the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved her immediately.
Wow.
So yeah, I know.
Good. Sarah, it sounds
but
like
yeah, in the show, incredible job. Hmm.
I don't remember how I felt about Nynaeve the first time I read the books, but I love Nynaeve, and I love her on rereads in the early books, and I think like Nynaeve in The Great Hunt and The Dragon Reborn is like the funniest character, and I'm actually missing some of like I want more angry, cantankerous, contradictory, hypocritical
Braid-tugging.
Nynaeve because I freaking love it.
Okay. So she's like she's a bit of a character in the early books especially. For me, I grow throughout the series every time I do a reread, it starts, I'm like, Nynaeve, chill out. Like, oh my gosh. But then as time goes on, I'm like, okay, she's amazing. She's incredible. She grows into herself. She really grows up and so by the end, she's always in my top, definitely top 10, probably around the top 5, for me character wise. And so I like that she's not as angry. She's not hitting people with a stick.
No. Where's Nynaeve's thumping stick? I need it back.
But
Yeah,
but
missing it.
that Dresden Sedai, even though Nynaeve is much more mature in the show, they still showed that she puts her foot in it. You're right. She does every now and then do funny things, like with Swan. We got a little like the like angry Nynaeve whenever she was in Swan's study. You know, like, are you done blowing smoke up our ass? I was like, that is Nynaeve.
Yeah.
That is exactly Nynaeve. So good for her. Anyway, sorry. Okay, we gotta stop. We're gonna pull Uno off the screen, even though we do. Thank you for being here, and we love him, and that's all we really need. So yeah, we got Agilmar. I feel like we don't really need to talk about this much unless you guys have strong feelings about it. He was kind of a dick, no?
He was. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah.
Okay.
Giant top knotted penis.
Yeah, like I loved his outfit, but that was it. The rest of him, annoying.
Fire Lord
His
Agilmar.
outfit was cool.
Yeah, Fire Lord Agilmar. He does kind of, now that you're saying that.
Yeah, he was a bit on the defense, wasn't
what
he?
was the deal with that? I mean, he was like a total asshole.
Part of me is like, this was their opportunity to show how much Aes Sedai meddle in the affairs of kingdoms.
Yeah.
Winespring, did you have something else?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Because I was also thinking how there was no announcement that she was coming.
Mm-hmm.
So it was probably like a, what are you doing here kind of thing, unannounced. And then I don't know what the customs would be like showing up without a gift, you know, for the king's court, that kind of situation.
Oh.
So maybe her showing up unannounced and without something, they're kind of like, why are you offending us? And so they're giving it back, maybe.
Is he the king in the show? Because in the books, he's not a king. He's the Lord of Faldara Keep.
He's the Lord of Faldara, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it sounds like in the show, they weren't making that distinction between him and the King Asar, or whatever that guy's name is.
No, I don't think they.
Yeah, it was very
mentioned that
vague.
at
I don't.
all.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I didn't know where he. I mean, I know he's the Lord of Faldara, but I didn't. I wasn't paying attention to whether they made him. They merged him with another character or whatever.
Wild Gardenia says, was there something maybe with Moiraine in the past? And that's a good question, because I know, at least from the books, that she spent some time in the Borderlands. So that could be, maybe they're like constructing some sort of backstory. My biggest guess, though, is that he is aware of how much Aes Sedai meddle, and that was just like some of his dialogue gave me that vibe, and he was like, I don't want you meddling, essentially, is what he was saying. Which makes sense.
Yeah,
but
when she gave helpful information, like it was no big deal anymore that she was
Seriously.
there. Well, not as much of a big of a deal.
Right. And then we get Lady Amalisa with the mystery solved that accepted have empty giant rings. So that's something.
Do you think she was accepted? Because I remember Morgaze, right, did not reach accepted, and she still had a ring, did she not?
This is true. So maybe...
Or maybe it's just royalty or whatnot.
I did see speculation, and people are like so freaked out that they're going to skip. Is Uno the guy from What Up? Says Vernon Copeland with another $5 super chat. Close. I think there are some physical similarities, you know? They should. I would love to see them both in a room at the same time. And I'm sure John from What Up would agree to that. I'm sure he would volunteer for that experiment. Okay, so John did acknowledge they look alike, says Candy Simo, so that's fun. But as I was saying, so somebody online was like super, freaking out, like maybe they're going to get rid of Caemlyn, and Lady Amalisa is going to be like Morgaze, and this is why she, had the tower story, and I feel like that's not something to worry about because Elaine's already been cast, first of all. And yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe they could just bestow rings on visiting royalty. That could be a thing that happens more than once.
Well, it would tie them to the White Tower.
It would, yeah.
Is how I'm looking at it. Yeah.
It would.
You might have the Agilmar aggression towards Moiraine being to set up a bit more of the past of Malkier and kind of the White Towers failing there, and that might be making him not happy with them.
This is true. Yeah, that's a good point. I do remember Lan having some issues in New Spring about that, so that's a really good point. I guess we'll find out. Time
We should find out.
Time will tell. So then Lady Amelie says, like, oh, you're going to go see the seer? That makes a lot of sense. And then we go and we see the seer. How exciting was this? We finally got to see Min. I'm pulling up a photo so you guys can all see this gorgeous Kay Alexander.
There they are. My hero.
Man, who
My one
cares?
true
No big
love.
deal. Let's just skip it.
Yeah, okay, let's move on. So then we get the drama scene
Done.
between the two rivers people.
Boring.
Yeah, everyone's
Let's
favorite
just
part.
skip-
Let's move on to the
skip
love
past
triangle
it.
reveal.
Oh,
So I think she's perfect as, Kay Alexander is perfect as Min. Perfect.
Yes.
And Sarah, did you Kay's pronouns, is it they? Are they they?
Be they.
She they. Great. Okay, great. I didn't want to mess it up. Okay, so I think she's got the vibe going. Like they've got this chill, like she wears the pants, she's got like a sleeveless shirt on, which is something I don't think we've seen on anybody else. Like her clothes is markedly different from everybody, which is how it's supposed to be in the books. And I don't know, like I just really liked her. Did anybody else have any strong reactions to her?
Man, it's great.
Yeah, she definitely comes off as a bartender. Like,
Right?
Oh yeah.
I have,
Yeah, she had
I
that
have
down.
friends who are bartenders, and it's just like she's a bartender. She knows how to deal with shit. Like, get out of her face. Like, you're just another bro in here talking to me, needing something. She just had the whole vibe.
Yeah, this is true.
She drinks a lot, which I thought was kind of cool. Like every time she's talking about the viewings or whatever, she's dropping shots like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what.
Well,
I see,
she
even
takes
when Rand
drinks
shows
at
up.
very important moments.
Yeah.
They're very important moments when she takes drinks. Like,
She does.
yeah.
It's when she's focusing on viewing.
It's definitely
she did the same thing
signaling.
with Rand. At first, you see the highlights on her forehead.
Yeah, is that like that's when she's doing viewings? That's the physical cue, you think?
I thought, but I don't think that's it. I think it's actually a reflection coming in from one of the windows because it doesn't happen all the time, and when she moves is when it happens. So I looked at this today really hard because I thought it was that. I thought when she had viewings, we were getting some kind of projector kind of lighting on her face. That's not it. I think it's just a stained glass window or a window or something casting light on her. But I think the dynamic that I got the most out of this was when Moiraine threatened her just blatantly when she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is intrusive," and she goes, "Well, nobody knows who you are because the eyes that I haven't told anybody. It could be worse." And she just looked at her. They'd be, and she was like, "Fine." So yeah, I just thought that was a weird dynamic that was different from what we were used to.
Yeah, but people in the chat are saying, and this is true, like, obviously Min understood the threat and gave
Yes.
Moiraine
yeah.
some stuff, but not everything, which I
Oh,
think
she did not give her everything. Yeah.
is straight Min, because she has her own loyalties. Let's put it that way, and they're clearly not necessarily to the tower. I don't know. Also, French Nerd pointed out that, like, Winespring, you said she looks like a bartender. French Nerd says, different from Dana's bartender, though. I feel like Min is our big city bartender.
For sure.
And
Yeah,
Dana's,
yeah.
like, our small town bartender, which is kind of exactly what's
She's
happening.
at like Applebee's or something.
The Applebee's.
I'm
No
sorry.
offense.
Which one is at
Sorry.
Applebee's? I don't know. I'm just curious. Is Dana the Applebee's bartender? or is-
Nobody.
Yeah.
Dana's
I
the
take it
Applebee's
back.
bartender.
I take it back. I'm sorry. That was mean.
Dana's the Applebee's bartender, and Min is the I don't know, the fanciest restaurant you can think of bartender.
No, Min. I think
That's not
Min
what
is
I was
a,
thinking at all.
No.
She's a dive
No.
bar bartender.
Oh, okay.
Min is
Yeah.
as like a queer bar in
Mm,
like Los Angeles or New York.
Oh,
I
very
like
specific.
it.
Yes,
I see
I
it.
like
Very
that.
specific.
Yeah.
I like it.
Mm.
She's at a bar. It's called something like I'm basing this off a bar I used to like to go to in LA. It's called like the Faculty, and it is a gay bar
Okay.
in LA, and that's where she hangs out. That's what she does. Yeah. This is canon actually. This is from Robert Jordan's interview.
It's amazing.
I
Okay.
think I remember it.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
right, actually. I think you talked
For
about
sure.
that at a conference.
I think
It's
I
in the-
remember it.
It's in the
Yeah.
companion. I've got it right here. Yeah, that's
Well, people keep talking about
For
Min
sure.
taking shots. Look, every good bartender knows you have one vodka bottle full of water that you use when customers want to buy you shots.
Learned that from
These are tricks.
my
True.
trips to Japan.
Pocket
and
that cash.
Japan and all of the places in South when they have the girls that are only in the bar to talk to you, and so guys buy them shots, but all they're drinking is like watered down juice or something.
I mean, good for them. Like,
It's-
you don't want to.
It's amazing. No, it's amazing how much money they get off these poor dumb military guys that
Without
don't know what's
actually-
happening.
Caleb in the chat says non-binary men, polyamorous group. I'm not gonna expand on that. Meaning Pan Rand, maybe we'll see. I don't know. That's a bit spoilery. I shouldn't have said that out loud. Okay, never mind. Forget I said anything. Okay, so sorry, I'm catching up in the chat. If I had to see her visions all the time, I'd drink too, says Judy Sonnenberg. Yeah, that's a really good point.
For sure. For sure.
Vernon Copeland.
Vernon
with
Copeland
another-
with another super chat coming through. I thought Min realized it was her baby. Okay, so you're thinking it's Min's baby. Was that because it has
Yes.
dark hair, maybe? You know, because a bunch of people pointed that out. So,
Going in, well, we would have to go into spoilers to really
we're avoiding that.
pinpoint that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're avoiding that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the dark hair
Let's
was a thing, and the fact that when Moiraine said, "Whose baby is it?" If you look at the tells for people that are either lying or trying to mislead, Min was looking away, wouldn't look her in the eye when she said, "I don't know, it's just an ordinary baby," and she never really looked at her.
And she took a drink.
And she took a drink.
That's one of
yes.
the only moments she took a drink. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it's too spoilery to say. Like, I don't think this is Min's baby. I thought this was definitely Matt.
The baby.
Well, now I'm realizing now it might be too spoilery. I thought that I already established Matt ends up undergoing a de-aging process later in the show and accidentally gets babyfied.
Actually, that's what happens whenever he takes the dagger and it gets taken away from him. Is it Benjamin?
Yeah,
it Benjamin buttons him. And
Yeah,
then
it's the
he
Benjamin
de-ages.
buttoning.
buttons
Yeah.
him.
And of course, Rand would be the one to take care of him because
Exactly.
they
Matt
were
can't do it.
close, and he promised that he
Because
would.
Tom told him to.
And Tom told
Yeah.
him
Right.
to, so he's just fulfilling his duty.
Tom told him to take care of Matt.
Yeah.
That's really
Good
powerful.
friend, Rand. Good friend.
Really powerful.
Mhm.
So spoilers, but that's what happens. Okay. As far as the other
For sure.
visions that we can actually talk about before the spoiler section at the end of the show, we got Perrin with golden eyes. That seems pretty obvious, but I did want to point out just like the visual of it. I think it's a cool visual, like the like, you know,
Oh yeah.
I don't know, shifty, like ghostly.
Love
look.
it.
I think
Yes.
it's cool. Like it's not like icons above your
Mhm.
head, but that could be kind of cartoonish depending on how you
I'm not gonna live that down, am I?
What?
Emojis over people's.
I mean, literally, like when you said emojis over people's head, I was like, yep. I guess they could
Do
do
it.
it in a different way, and they might still, but I think a couple of these looked really cool. Like as far as just
No, they look-
choosing to like put sparkles around people, like that was
Yeah.
cool too. And kind of like straight out of the books, which was great.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Alan Bird says she should have told Moiraine it was Moraine's baby. I agree.
Surprise!
Finally, some
That's
fellow Morand shippers. out
You
here.
are the mother.
Oh my gosh, Moiraine. I
That'd be
don't.
hilarious.
I have gone through
Moiraine.
so many ships in my day, and never once in my life was I like Morand.
Morand is I love it
Oh.
personally.
It's a special breed. Vernon Copeland agrees. $5 in super chat. You were being really, really nice today. Thank you so much, Vernon. Definitely Matt, but the baby could have been a symbol of them together. Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what Min's visions are. Are they to be taken literally? Are they more symbolic? Like that's one thing that they're kind of leaving open that we'll find out. I guess I had a picture of the baby all along and I didn't use it.
Put it up there.
So here it is.
Bum, bum, bum.
So yeah, the baby, very cute.
Very cute.
Clearly Matt.
It's
I think.
Yeah.
It's a baby.
It's a baby.
Clearly, Matt.
Faith
Clearly,
is
Matt.
a
legs and
faithful
a pretty
Moran
butt.
shipper. Okay.
What?
Well,
Can I-
Faith knows what's up, so
I want to bring something up that was aside. It was about Kay Alexander in particular,
Sure.
and there was a lot of weird posts about how she's way older than Yosha and all of this other crap, and they would make her too old for him in the show. And I thought it was ridiculous because nobody ever says anything about the fact that Lan is supposed to be like 40, and Nynaeve is like 22 or 23 or whatever the hell she is.
Isn't that something?
You see that same trope. I mean, Game of Thrones and all of this stuff. It's always the older guy, the very young female. But and to be honest with you, she's not older than at least not very much older. A few years, I think, right?
In the books,
the actor is 10 years older than Yosha.
Okay,
yeah,
but it just cracks me up that people nitpick on the stupidest shit like that. Anyways,
it doesn't crack me up. It annoys me. For being honest, it is.
Sarcastic crack me up. Sounds like.
Yes. And that's a perfect observation, literally. Like, it's okay for it's okay for Nynaeve shippers to ship them, and it's not okay for, what is the Rand Min ship?
Mand.
And,
oh.
Not Rin.
Wow. Mand. Okay, well, that's something.
I'm here for it. Mand, let's do it.
All right, so Team Mand. But yeah, it's a smaller age difference.
Mindrand?
So people can just go. Anyways, sorry. Yeah. So
Anyways,
shut up is what we're saying. Classic misogyny.
Get the
Thank
hell
you,
out.
French nerd. I didn't want to say it, but you did. Good for you.
Yeah, it's just a good old. It's a good old double standard. It's as old as time.
Mm-hmm.
As old as time itself.
We do not like
That's
it.
true.
Lamb cutie pie.
Well, glad that they're flipping it up in the show. Let's get over it and get on board.
Yeah, literally. Like if you're into them, then be into them and don't feel ashamed. I just wanted to point out, Lamb Cutie Pie said maybe the baby is the world, and Rand is doing his best to keep it safe from the Dark One. Once again, bringing up the question: how metaphorical are these visions? And we'll see, I guess, as time goes on. So then is the next thing, and the next significant thing that happens, essentially Moiraine comes in and she's like, you guys are gonna die. And then everybody,
Yeah, pretty much.
Everybody skips over that and focuses on the surprise love triangle, right? That's the next thing that happens? No, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, it
I'm
is.
not surprised. I called it like the first episode.
Because they've been
I'm just
pushing
saying.
it. They've been pushing it. It wasn't. I mean,
Yes.
hard to follow. We just didn't want to believe it was actually being put in the show.
I mean, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
Like, literally, there is precedent for this in the books. Like,
There was one.
Perrin and
percentage.
Egwene were cute together when they were off on their Tinker adventure, and I will die on that hill. Briefly, almost every time I read The Eye of the World, I ship Perrin and Egwene when they're off with the Tinkers, okay? And you know what? I'm of the mind that you can love sometimes more than one person. And so, like, maybe Egwene still loved Rand, but at the time there was Perrin, and he's got great shoulders, you know what I mean? So all of these things are facts, and they were in the books, and so the love triangle is not something that I enjoyed. I think it was a silly addition to an otherwise very serious episode. Or very eventful episode. It was kind of just a blip, like a flash in the pan for me, and I moved on immediately. But I know some people tweeted about it as it was happening or right after Tavern, having strongly felt feelings about it. So why don't you talk about the love triangle and how it ruined the entire episode for you?
I didn't say it ruined the entire episode. I just didn't like it. So
Okay.
I said this is still one of the best episodes. It's not my favorite episode, but it's not my favorite not because of this scene.
Mm-hmm.
So there's clarification there. So this is the second time so far in the show that a sentence roughly of Perrin's has made it into the show and become a thing, right? So the first one was, if I'd have stayed in the Two Rivers, I would have married Laila, right? And so what do we get? We get married Perrin to Laila. This, I believe, stems from the conversation he was having with Elias, where he mentions something about Egwene. So maybe in another whatever, there might have been something or whatnot. It was just a quick sentence.
Okay.
And it turned into this, right? Which my biggest issue with this whole triangle thing was the fact that it went nowhere. It was wasted screen time. There was no reason for it, really. And as soon as Egwene and Rand talked, it was over.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. When they actually came back together to make their decision, nobody even mentioned it again.
Your
It's
Honor,
done.
may I respond?
Ooh.
Yes, please.
I get what you're saying. I didn't like the love triangle as it manifested in the show either. I will say, I do think it has a bit more of a textual basis than that. I think Perrin is very clearly jealous when Egwene is dancing with Aram in the Tuatha camp in the
Yes,
books.
I agreed.
And even though his internal monologue is like, I mean, I just don't like it because she's supposed to be with Rand. But no,
That's
he's
what I
very
got from it.
definitely jealous
Yeah.
of Egwene. I think Perrin has a crush on Egwene in the books. But I also don't think everything has to be directly pulled from something in the books for it to work in the show. And I don't like the addition of the love triangle thus far. Though I wouldn't go so far as to say it goes nowhere because we don't know yet. There's more. There's still another episode this season, and there's seven more seasons. So
Yeah, I'll
who
give you that.
knows?
Give me that. Yeah, we truly, there are a lot of things that we've seen in the show so far that don't look like they're panning out, but we don't know where they're going yet. So, okay, I'll give you that one. Sure.
Winespring, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the love triangle now that the rest of us had weighed in?
I don't know. I do want to see where it's going.
You're middling.
Not
You're
real
middling
sure.
so far.
Yeah, it is what it is. It gives Perrin his kind of like his sadness that he needs us to understand, and the guilt he has associated with his wife and then another woman on his mind. And yeah, I don't know. Let's see where it goes. We'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes. Somebody in the chat, and I already lost it. They said that maybe this was a way to get Rand to begin pushing people away, which I think has some merit. But Egwene came to him, and they made up immediately.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
if it was to push Perrin away, that's kind of not fair because he immediately forgave Egwene, and I don't know. Yep, I
What was
think
it?
wasted screen time to me.
There was
I
a
agree
tweet
that
that.
it's-
Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, nothing. Just agreeing with Kritter. So far, it has not warranted inclusion in such a time-tight show.
Yeah, and Vernon Copeland.
Yeah, that's a good way of wording it.
And Vernon
Yeah.
Copeland with another super chat is exactly where I was going. That somebody said that they may have added it to make up for maybe a scene that Matt was supposed to piss people off or something because Barney left. I'm not 100% sold on that, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. Thank you again,
I think
Vernon.
they should have had. They did the wrong love triangle. Make Perrin into Rand, and I think the scene works beautifully.
Make
And that's
him
not
into
me
Rand.
joking. That's an honest thing.
Okay, so what's that ship name? Hold on.
Perrin.
Rand
Obviously,
or Randon?
it's
Randon?
Perrin.
Oh yes, I see what you're saying.
Or
Oh,
Randon.
interesting.
Randon does
Oh,
sound like
I would
a
have
real
loved
name.
that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that'd
Yeah,
been interesting.
that could work. In the books, I feel like if we're shipping anybody of the OG Tavern, I always thought Rand and Matt were great together, but that's just me.
They're amazing.
Oh yeah, of course.
Um,
They're
Yeah,
great.
they're
For
amazing.
sure.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean Perrin's not jealous.
Meant to be.
That doesn't mean Perrin's not
Their
jealous.
ship name is Rat. As much as Critter hates it,
That's true.
Stop it.
their ship name is Rat.
That one could be manned too. Okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right, we gotta get off this love triangle because it's not worth talking about. And here we go, taking up precious stream time with it. What are we
We
doing?
have spoiler triangles to talk about later, so
Right. Well, we'll talk more about love triangles after we drop the spoiler panned. We dropped the spoiler
Panned.
bulkhead. Sorry. Okay, then we got something that I have been wanting, hoping for, wishing for. More Lan and Nynaeve. I am such a Lan and Nynaeve fan. I feel like the show Lan and Nynaeve is don't come for me, better than the book Lan and Nynaeve. More developed in my opinion. I feel like
Kritter, I'm sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
Are you suggesting that Robert Jordan ever wrote a romance that wasn't perfect? Robert Jordan, master of relationships?
Oh my
Sarah,
God,
that is exactly what I'm suggesting. Multiple times over, I am suggesting that. Bless him. I love Robert Jordan. R.I.P. He's incredible, an amazing writer, but everybody has flaws, and his
True
flaw
of
was
Rat.
romance. Okay, and that's just a fact. I'm not even gonna say it's subjective because it's not.
It's not subjective. It's an objective fact.
Who's objecting? No one, Roland. Exactly. Because there is no objection.
No objecting to what? Wait, what are we not objecting to? Nynaeve?
No, to the fact that Robert Jordan's one flaw,
okay,
because
yeah.
he only
All right,
had
all right,
one,
agreed.
was romance.
Agreed.
Loyal's Library with the super chat. I hate that I can't be on 2 streams at once, so wanted to pop in and show some love. Also, Loyal for life. We missed Loyal. Hopefully, we get him more in the next episode. Thank you for that, Loyal's Library.
Yes.
And enjoy
That was
whatever
awesome.
stream you're gonna go to, other than this one.
It's not us.
No, I really appreciate you even just stopping by. This is great. So Lan and Nynaeve, very exciting, more developed in my opinion. The fact that we met some of Lan's background people completely.
One of my favorite parts.
Really, really.
One of my favorite
cute.
parts. Yep.
Okay, Tavern, you're one of your favorite parts. Talk about it.
The family thing was one of my favorite parts. Again, just shows that they have improved Lan.
Mm-hmm.
I think from the books. In the books, we just had a very stony, stoic Lan, and now we see life, we see character, we see him, what he loves, and that kind of stuff. And it's amazing to see his character develop on the show. I still think, and I think it's better. The whole family thing, how it introduced the fact that, he told the story of having to leave Valkyr and being taken out as a child and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually see one of the soldiers, and I think I brought this up before, that it'd be cool to see one of the soldiers that raised him,
And we got him.
taught him all about, and it was freaking amazing. So yeah, probably one of my favorite parts.
Sith guy, the line. I assume you're talking about the line from the 3rd or 4th book between Nynaeve and Lan. That's my
From
guess.
the Eye of the World.
From the Eye of the World.
Sith guy, where do I?
All right,
I will
well,
hate the man you choose because he is not me.
Oh yeah.
But I will love him if he makes you smile.
that was in the Eye of the
No woman.
World? I could have sworn that
Eye
was
of the
in...
World.
How?
Eye of the World before they go to the Blight.
No kidding! I could have sworn that
No.
was whenever they were in another location in that they
Huh.
end up in the Dragon Reborn. So, wow. So you don't think they're gonna get it because of how
I'm desperate for that line.
this episode
Yeah.
ends?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
That
No,
whole
we-
scene with them together at the end of this episode, I couldn't pay attention to anything because I was just like, say the line. Say it, Daniel.
Say it.
And he
Give
never
it
did.
to us.
Say it.
If it doesn't happen next episode,
Give
I'll be
it to
very
us.
sad, but I'm still holding out hope.
Well, I will cross my
awesome.
fingers, send good vibes into the universe, and hopefully the light will shine upon us, and we will get that line, because I too love that line. I just thought it was later on in the books.
Easy top 5 lines in the entire series for me.
Easy. Well, yeah, and that was in your land rap too, wasn't it?
It was. I love it so much.
One of my favorite parts of that rap. I loved it. Okay.
And you can find that line on T-shirts, on coasters, on
Heyo.
mugs, on redbubble.com, tavern underscore
Red
underscore,
Bull. Yeah.
or
Link
tavern underscore tavern.
link in the description of this video, as well as a link to Sarah's YouTube, where her rap is, I believe. You haven't
Pulled a
taken
wine. I pulled a wine spring.
No, I love it.
promo.
It's somewhere.
The
I don't know
promo.
where that rap is. It's online somewhere.
It's somewhere online. Definitely on TikTok. Probably on YouTube. So look it up. Also, can I just the picture that I have pulled up, like, goddamn. He is just the ideal man, is he not? Like he's like telling a little story to a little girl because she likes, like hearing about his escapades, and I don't know, the fact that Nynaeve was over there like giving him what do they call those? Like, not pillow eyes. The like
Like puppy eyes.
Bedroom eyes.
Thank you. Bedroom
Bedroom
eyes.
eyes?
She's watching him tell this story to this little girl, giving him full send bedroom eyes. Like this isn't her looking, but it's right before she looks, and it's literally just like
Yeah,
like
no, it's full send.
Lan might be able to turn me. That's all I'm saying.
I mean he's
I don't know if my
Now we
wife would
know.
appreciate it, but I'm just saying.
he's a beautiful
Lan's
man.
amazing.
He's a beautiful
Are you made out of freaking wood? How could he not turn you? What do you mean turn to being a gay?
Yes.
Is that what you mean, George?
Yes,
or,
that's what I mean.
like bisexual at least, right? Because you're a happily
Yes,
married man.
At least.
But he's
At least.
goddamn, this scene really made me fall in love.
Minimum buy.
That's $5 footlong in sign language.
Oh, on the first shot?
What Chucky, Kentucky. Thank you for that. Yeah, him holding up his finger. That's
It's a subliminal message to Nynaeve.
$5 foot long in sign language. I love that so much. Thank you for saying that. And then, okay, so the important part, I think, for all of us is we got a little bit of land back. And let me just briefly thirst. Holy shit. Like, this scene was so awesome. And he, like, goes and he takes his shirt off and we're all like, no way. No way is this it. And by God, it wasn't. Right? Like, it wasn't. We got what we wanted.
We got the screenshot.
What?
That was your screenshot, right? Because I totally, purposely negated any shirtless land pics just to see if you guys would catch it.
I have multiple. Like, you know, I filled in the gap. Well, I just had the one by himself, and then here's this one. Like, there's two. It's a reasonable number.
It was multiple. You're right. You're right.
Oh, God.
So, I don't know. This scene was great. I feel like Nynaeve taking the initiative. Like, I saw some comments on my YouTube that was like, Nynaeve would have too much pride to do this. And for me, it's like, I don't think she would. Like, if the thirst was strong enough, I think she'd go for it. She's a strong woman, you know? I don't know. Like, do you guys disagree? Do you think this was out of character for her?
No.
Oh, I thought this was perfect. And I thought there was foreshadowing to it when there was the stalking, you know, happening in the street. Lan comes out.
Uh-huh.
It's a stalking.
And he looks at her and he says, what is it? Do you plan to come in? And then she goes in and has dinner. And it's kind of like foreshadowing, like, you plan to come in? Like,
yeah.
You coming in now?
Like,
and she did come in. And I think it's perfect for her to do that, to show that initiative and his response, the tender touches on the arm and the face. Beautifully done.
Vernon again.
I know. Vernon Copland with another $5. I am straight, but Lan is the man. Don't ask me to stay, Lan. It would be a tempting offer, I think, for us all. I'm pretty sure that is the
I'm going to tell you, old boy is ripped. Like, just, oh my God. He's fit as hell.
Yeah.
So
we love
I
him.
hadn't noticed.
Holy shit. So I didn't have a problem with the relationship because, of course, we knew it was going to happen. The speed of it and the timing it threw me off. I didn't dislike it. It just kind of threw me off a little bit that it happened so early on in the series.
Critter, I think it needs to be a little bigger.
I'm working on it, man. I'm zooming. I'm unzooming. Like,
go ahead, just cover my quarter up so you can see it.
Just a little bigger than that.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's just
enhance.
Enhance. There it is.
Yeah, just cover everybody up.
I think we got it. I think we got it.
Beautiful. That's just right. Oh yeah.
That's the ticket.
I mean, but did anybody else think it was a little
God.
too soon?
I mean,
Too soon to make out? Too soon
No,
to fuck
too soon.
When the world's ending tomorrow?
I mean, I thought about that too. The world may, or they might die. I get that, and I thought about that too. Again, I didn't oppose it. I was just looking at the timing. It might have been too soon. Maybe halfway through season 2, maybe. But yeah.
Are you talking from a narrative TV constructing level, or are you talking from an in-world Lan and Nynaeve level?
No, narrative TV.
Narrative
not from
TV.
not because I never had a problem. I thought it took too long in the books.
Yeah, I don't think it's too soon. I think they don't need to be messing around with will they, won't they bullshit in this show. In my opinion, the people want Nynaeve. Give us Nynaeve.
And they did.
I want to see it.
This whole episode just seemed a little 902 watt or
Oh God! Stop.
A little bit.
I mean, you're allowed to have romance without it being the OC. First of all,
well, there was just a lot of stuff happening with couples, and again, I love the show. There was just a lot, and it was all in one episode, and it was like all jammed into episode 7. It seemed. It just seemed a little weird. That was it.
Before we move on and before the chat moves on, I want to point out that Dresden said I had a really cool comment that I actually hadn't thought about. I think they captured the Shienaran courting customs in the scene. He was waiting for her to make the first move, which is how it's done in Shienar. That's an awesome point that I hadn't thought about at all.
Yeah.
I didn't even get that. That's very good.
Yeah, look.
That's at least how that is. That's the Malkiri custom. But yes, you're right.
That is true. Is it? That is the Malkiri custom. Yeah, because some.
Oh, I think it was also the Shienaran custom as well. Maybe
just like a Borderlander thing. But that's a really good point that I hadn't thought about, and I know the naysayers already. I can hear it in the comments. Like Nynaeve wouldn't know that, but Lan would, and that's why he wouldn't invite her in. Basically, like that's why Lan didn't take any steps, and why it ended up being Nynaeve who made the. I don't know if it's the first move,
Okay.
because they've been flirting back and forth this whole time.
No. Yes.
But
They've spent every evening together, probably.
literally, yeah. So
And they also they had a
Yeah.
month on the road on the way to Tarvalon. Like they've been together for a while, actually. Through some traumatic
They've been
shit, and they think they're gonna
surviving
die
some
tomorrow.
trauma too.
100%. And
Sure.
it's oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Sarah, on the topic of relationships, do you think in the show, we had this discussion
Okay.
last episode or the one before, that Moiraine and Siuan are married in the show?
Are you asking whether I think the oath rod scene was a marriage ceremony?
No. I'm saying because there were some comments, and again, this is just something a theory, and we were kind of talking about it. There were some comments at the time that said that it was very much a sea folk kind of relationship, with the Amerlin being in charge in public, but Moiraine kind of being in charge in private. I don't know how in charge she was in private, but I mean, we know it's different from the books, right? In the show, they've been together for a long time, as opposed to just the accepted time period. So there were people that were thinking that they might be married on the show.
I think Moiraine and Siuan are committed life partners, and whether they're
Legally or whatever.
formally married, I don't care about that institution very much, but I do think they're committed to each other for life, and I think they both know that about each other.
Yeah. I don't think the sea folk thing is it. French Nerd says
I
I
don't
hate
think
the
so
sea
either.
folk comments. I tend to agree, because I didn't see Moiraine being like the dominant one in private.
I don't think so either.
I saw a very
Yeah.
equal relationship, just because she says on your knees. That was hot. That wasn't a
It
command.
was hot.
Yeah,
it was
And
just
it's funny. It's a
foreplay.
good callback.
It
Moiraine
is.
is funny.
She
Oh,
is
it was a
funny.
great- yeah, it was definitely a great callback.
So yeah, two women
was just
being
curious
spicy
because
once
it was-
does not mean they have a tops of private relationship. Yes.
Right, and the other thing was
That
when
is it.
the other thing they pointed out again at the time was that Moiraine was sitting, Siuan was like laying down, but then later on, Moiraine was laying her head in Siuan's lap. So to me, it was
It's
like I didn't
equal.
see it. But yeah,
Yeah.
people were pushing that theory, and I was like,
You know, I can't fault them, because theorizing is fun, and knowing something like the dynamic of
Oh,
sea folk
yes.
relationships and trying to liken it to something that we saw on the show is completely understandable. I just happen to disagree with this one. That's
I also.
that's all. All right, so I think we can move on. Well, I don't want to, but we probably should move on from Lan and Nynaeve, unfortunately. Bless them. We love them.
I
We
will
got
say
to
on the last comment on Lan, if I may,
bring it.
I think this episode set Lan up to be almost so perfect that he's gonna crack very hard next episode. I think Lan is. I said this on my stream, but he is the same Lan with the same journey through like handling trauma that he has to go through in the books. He just wears a mask of competence and humor in this turning rather than like stony stoicism.
Yeah.
But I think that his smile will crack soon. That's my prediction for him.
I guess we'll see what
I'm not
happens
ready.
with
You
Moiraine.
think they're gonna
at the
speed that up?
eye.
Hmm?
Think they're gonna speed that whole thing up without getting into spoilers?
Well, he starts cracking at the end of book 1, right? Like, but yeah.
He's got a lot of internal, stuff to go through. Also, let me just take a moment. $10 from Vernon Coblin. Gosh dang, what are you doing? Thank you so much. Rafe has done a hell of a great job on the show. Did you see where he was talking to Shora
Yes.
Agdashlu on Twitter? Yes, I was all over that. In fact, I posted on TikTok in August that she would be the perfect Cat Swain, and dear God, if we get her, I will die of happiness. And the fact that they're DMing is so cool, and she's working on The Expanse, which is how I saw her in the first place. Incredible. But it's an Amazon property, so she's already got she's already
Got her
in.
foot in the door.
Yeah, she's got her foot in the door, so I'm hoping it works out. Obviously, we won't get Cat Swain. Probably, well, not obviously. Things change as far as when people show up in the books versus the show.
Good point.
But
Good point.
there's a chance we won't get her for a while, till I don't know, season 3, fingers crossed, or something like that. But still,
Are they,
really
are they
cool.
done with? They're done filming too, right?
I don't think they're done filming 2. think
I
they're
thought they were done filming too.
currently filming.
No, they were taking a break. They were taking a
Yeah,
break.
I don't think they're
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they're still
They were
filming
taking a break.
too. So, anyways, very very exciting. Look at my hair. Like, what's happening here?
What are you doing?
Don't worry about it. It was just like it was pulling forward,
I was
like slowly.
It's like, wait.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shora as Catwayne would be amazing. Rafe DMing her was amazing. That whole thing over this weekend was super fun to witness. And I hope it works out.
That was super cool.
Okay, so Rand sucks at archery. That was a new one. Until, of course, he focuses up during the dragon reveal. But I just wanted to point out that he's clearly upset about some things, and so he's not doing well here. And then Egwene shows up. I thought the line where he said, like, I always found that the best strategy was to wait until you were ready to talk was really cute.
I did too.
It solidifies their relationship and makes it more realistic. Yeah.
So is anybody else
Like they know each other. Mhm.
Yes. Is anybody else like personally? I'm really, really into this ship. Like, I'm into. I don't know. Like, Randween. Randween is. I love them together in this.
Randweenies.
No. Yeah. Okay. I'm a Randweenie. Let's just.
Randweenies. Just call it what it is. You're a Randweenie.
I don't know. Like.
And weenie.
I feel like they have great chemistry.
Right.
Does anybody else agree with me, or am I by myself here thinking that they're great together?
They are.
I started to like them this episode.
Oh, you did before? Okay.
They are.
I was
but
not crazy before. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I still see the look on Gwen's face as, I need you, and she's using him. I still see it on her face. They're cute together, but it's almost like, okay, things aren't panning out let me go back to my safe zone, and she goes back to Rand. I don't see the, like they said in the, was it the ways when he's hearing, she doesn't love you as much as you love her, or whatever it is that is said in the ways when Mashin Chin kind of hits him. I see that physically when I see both of them, where he's just doting and she's just kind of like, okay, he's still here. I can still use him some more. That's the way I see it.
Wow, so he's just somebody to use. Sarah, what's your take on this relationship?
I don't know. Like it's hard for me with this relationship in particular because we really have barely seen any screen time of it. Like, what do we know from the show so far when we've seen them interact? We know they fuck. We know Egwene broke up with him because she was going to become a wisdom, which I think is totally fair. We know they were stressed out on the journey, but I mean, whatever. Egwene finds out she's going to be an Aes Sedai, and Rand is like, don't do that. You're going to leave me again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't have me. I don't. Okay. I'll shorten my answer. I don't like them very much as a ship. But I see the same thing from the books, where like this is a young relationship from a small town, and
Yeah.
I think it would be a disservice to both of them to like limit themselves to the first person that they fall in love with when they have a whole world to discover and a whole internal world to explore before they have any need to settle down with a life partner.
That's fair.
So I'm biased.
That's fair.
100% get that. Yep.
I married my high school sweetheart, so maybe that's why I like them so much.
Yeah.
No, I get. I
And that's great.
I can see where
I mean,
you're going with that, though. Like,
That can work for people. Like some people get super lucky like that.
yeah. I find them to be very, very cute. But I can see what you're saying. It's we haven't gotten much from them, other than, they fuck. And they know each other, and like
Familiar.
Egwene was really like familiar with like his dad, where she like all that you could tell that they grew up together. Basically, I guess is the vibe that I'm getting, which is what I
Definitely,
think.
yes.
This is why I think they're cute. So I guess we'll see where this goes. Rand saying that like you have to go to the tower and that every Aes Sedai needs a warder. My heart just like exploded. So okay, we can move on though. We can move on. It's fine. Nobody else likes it except me.
No, I mean I do like that scene because I didn't like that scene on first watch. I loved that scene on rewatch once I knew like where Rand's head was at when they were having that conversation.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, this is super sad. And Yosha's incredible. And then I really liked it.
Okay, good. Well, then I'm glad we agree.
Sounds like you were on a journey. Yeah. Thank you
go
for
on a
sharing that
journey-
journey with us.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking to Kritter, but yeah.
Yes.
Vernon Copland asking with a $5 super chat, do we get a spoiler time of the show? If not, I can refigure some thoughts. Yes, we do. At the end, I will throw up a spoiler flag. I will tell everyone who hasn't read all the books to leave at the risk of getting spoiled, and we'll have some spoiler talk time. So that will happen. We can move on and like keep this show on the road here because I know we're lingering.
Vernon, not that you should stop sending this wonderful group of people money. Send them money if you wish. You do know, though, that you can send regular chats for free. And we'll see them. I just want to make sure you know that.
Vernon, that is a good no. Thank you for everything, but you can do that if you so choose. All right, so we get wow, I don't know, this image is so tiny compared to the other images. So like, I'm gonna shrink it and then I'm gonna blow it up and it's gonna be great.
Why did that come out so small?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
no
because
idea.
I zoomed into one. I think it's because I zoomed into one portion of the screen when I took it.
Previously, we got land back, and now we get flashback.
Yeah, it's a back-filled episode. But I wanted this flashback super hard. I was sad that we didn't get the Tam fever dreams and Fizzle Gig. Welcome, thank you so much for showing up.
Fizzle.
I was wondering where you were.
Hi.
Happy that you're here. So very excited. We got some Tam reveals. But like we didn't get it in episode 1 like we do in the books, if you consider like the first couple chapters episode 1. And yeah, like Rand carrying I don't know, I loved the reveal. Winespring, how did you feel about it?
I just did not see it coming. So when it started, I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like, I mean, I know that he's the dragon, but boy, was that reveal exciting. All of it was exciting. Yeah. The flashback, especially. Yeah. Seeing him caring for Tam in that way and just the drama of it all. I think the soundtrack really like affected me too in this moment too. They did just an incredible job pulling it all together.
Swelling, I get that. Yeah. Tam, I feel like did a great job. Michael McElhatton did a great job. We got a little more from him than we did, I think, in the first episode. Yeah, it was a fun, very action-packed. Action-packed isn't just like bam, 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 bam. Here's all the things that you missed or didn't miss and caught onto and were wondering about all at once. Tavern, did you like the way they did it?
Yeah, no, I loved the reveal. I was expecting it to be this episode. I mean, it had to be this episode, I would think, to push to the next one.
Because of the
Tigraine.
The next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was really well done. I know why they did it from a TV show standpoint, right? Because they were still trying to hide whoever it was. But going back in the flashbacks and seeing Rand advertently channel without knowing he was doing so, he would have seen the weaves, I would think. Right, so there's some shots in here of the weaves actually from his perspective. You see the white weave coming out, and then the corruption sliding up behind it to overtake it every time he does it, which I thought was really cool. But it left me with some questions as to he knew it was him all along. He would have seen the weaves. Maybe not at the door because he hit the door. Mm-hmm. But when he pushed the trolloc off the ways, he would have seen that. He knows he can't see Egwene's weaves.
I mean, that did happen this episode, right? So maybe
It-
he
it did.
see it, and that's part of
did,
this
but
big crescendo of his like, holy shit, it's me, you know?
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, from the time they left the ways, should have been going through his head. It's me. I can channel.
Yeah.
Oh, that is what was going through his head. That's why Masha.
Well, it was when he was at the archery range, but between the ways and then he would have already known, is what I'm getting at.
Well, right, but yes, but he does know, because later when we hear what Majin Shin was actually saying to him,
Yeah.
it's you're the dragon.
Yeah, he just
so he
says
knew
it, right.
Yeah.
at that point,
So
or at least suspected. I
So-
also don't think people when they're wilders, I think often the first few times they channel, they have no idea what they're doing. Like Egwene and Nynaeve, it's both channeled in the Two Rivers before receiving any training, and it's never said that either of them saw anything. Just miraculous things happened as a result.
It's true. Vernon coming in hot once again. Liked the arms folded under Egwene's chest during the makeup, and thanks. I like to be interactive. Well, at least you know.
All right,
At least we've confirmed that you know. And I did too. Every time I see somebody do one of these, I'm like, nice, there it is. every time I get one of RJ's like super, you know, like Nynaeve at least held her braid during this episode, I was like, nice, there it is, you know, Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I also say like the power for cognitive dissonance when it comes to like knowing a thing about yourself, suspecting a thing about yourself, accepting a thing about yourself. People can, I speak from personal experience, like it is possible to both know a thing about yourself for years and consciously suppress that knowledge of it.
Yeah.
100%.
So like I don't know. And I think Rand like will go on to deny. Like Rand's journey is one of denial and
Yeah, through
like,
definitely through the first few books for sure. I just and I
Yeah,
can
his
even
whole wrestling with it. Can I jump in on
Yeah,
that real
please.
quick? I think that's part of what like the arrow scenes are showing, like where he's shooting the arrow and he's just missing the mark. He's just denying it's not me. And then he finally, when he's hitting it, it's like he's finally accepted it. Like it definitely I think that really shows the battle that's happening internally.
Yeah.
Going back to the match in Shin where he's basically telling himself, or the wind is telling him, you are the Dragon Reborn, you can still excuse that coming out, because right after they come out, forget what you heard. Everybody, you know, just. And so he's like, okay, well, maybe that was just playing mind tricks on me, and it really isn't a thing. So I can get that part.
Yeah.
But the channeling is what got me. But yeah.
I just want to point out the creativity of the meme reborn with free chat. Rand was in denial. He had an argument with Egg because she thought that Matt couldn't be the dragon. I think he was in denial, and then like he finally like as Winespring said, kind of like came to realize like, shit, this is real, you know, like. And yeah, balance. I like that your name is Balance and you're bringing up the flame and the void. But yeah, that's kind of what happens. Like Rand starts hitting the bullseye. He becomes more centered. He accepts what's going on. Like he probably finds the flame and the void when he couldn't before because he was so torn up about stuff and confused. So yeah,
my wife was like, how is he the Dragon Reborn? Min, the chick that could see things, told him he wasn't. I said, no, she just told him what he wanted to hear at that point. She wasn't really giving a viewing. Tell me I'm not the Dragon Reborn. You're not the Dragon Reborn. It's like when somebody says, call me a cab. Or cab. I mean, it was just one of those moments. She was like,
smart-ass response.
Yeah, she was like, oh. So it wasn't a viewing. I said, that was not a viewing.
Also, it just like it distinguishes her, I think, from the Aes Sedai. Like she's clearly got some powers.
Yeah, she can lie.
But she can lie.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, we get this little convo with Min. We can't. We're about to drop the spoiler bulkhead, so I think we can probably just glaze over it. But the fact that she, says, just tells him he's not the dragon, and then essentially like, tell me you actually want to hear what I have to say, and then she goes on and kind of has several viewings about rainbows and carnivals and 3 beautiful women and all kinds of stuff, and whether he's coming back or not, she doesn't answer. And then he leaves, and so I liked the scene a lot. And we get Min drinking again, which is always fun.
I have a theory on that she doesn't answer when he says if he's coming back or whatever, or if she sees the eye of the world. And she says, "Because you seem like a nice guy," or whatever she says.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was being straight up honest because he doesn't come back as the same person.
Could be.
Changes. He comes back from the eye of the world, and that's what I'm going with.
That's a good point. We've got a 5 in the chat. Judy Sonneberg. In the books, Rand didn't see the weaves the first times he channeled with Bella. And the end. That's a good point. Rand was channeling to help Bella, and he didn't see the weaves, presumably. So, good.
That's interesting. I forgot.
Smart.
Good call.
Good call,
Judy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
This is why chat's important.
This is why chat is. We love chat. We do love the chat. All right. So we get that Tam was the one who was there with Tigraine when she gave birth, which was again like so incredible to see. This actress just frickin' slayed. You know, like Jesus Christ. I hope we see more of her. I don't know what else to say about that. And then he goes to Moiraine, and then they go off to the Blight. How do we feel about how the Blight looks? It looks pretty vast to me.
Again? Yeah, for sure. I think it does. I was going to mention the soundtrack again. The music here was just perfect.
Yeah.
As they were walking up and going into it.
I have not.
My
That's
thoughts
all.
on the Blight from just looking was impassable.
Sarah. Vernon, you're not allowed to chat without donating. No, I'm kidding. Please, I'm joking.
Yeah, sorry, Vernon. That's a joke.
Yeah, I feel like the music throughout this whole thing, like, dear man, Lorne Balfe, he's on another level as far as composers go in my book.
Yeah. His stuff is amazing.
So good.
Same.
So good. Oh my gosh, the chat is going crazy. I like how the Blight looks. I'm curious to see what it looks from the inside.
Looks great. It just looks impassable.
Which is
how are Trolloc armor supposed to get through that?
Well, there's a pass.
Well, there is a pass, but they have to get through this to get to the pass. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Unless there's
have to go slowly.
pathways, unless there's pathways and stuff that
Jesus
they're not using.
Vernon with $5 super chat says, "Okay, you were killing me." The Blight reminded me of Fern Gully, says Sith Guy. That's an interesting, very jungly for sure.
Dagobah.
Brindley.
Dagobah for sure.
All right, so
it looks cool though. It looks really cool. I like it.
I hope it doesn't seem sound.
Yeah, I'm ready to see
stagey
more
once they're inside of it. You know what I mean? I hope it doesn't seem. Obviously, it should feel claustrophobic because it looks like it's going to be really claustrophobic. But
did you see the skull trapped in one of the roots?
I did. I can see
that.
Yeah,
that was a neat.
That was
My Lord
cool.
Salmon in the chat says it explains how Trollocs can
Vernon.
march around undetected. Exactly.
There you go.
I guess it gives them that that training.
The Blight is very big. Like
Huge.
this is
Huge.
one Blight biome, but we don't know that this is the entire Blight looking like this.
There could
Do
be
you think this is
Blight
just?
biomes.
This might just be like the edge of it as it creeps along and then it smooths out behind it, kind of.
I mean, anything. There could be
That,
mountains.
or
like
exactly. Who knows?
there's the. Wait, did we see the
Fizzle
Seven
gig.
Towers at some point? Thank you,
No.
Vernon, again for the donation. You're great too. You've been lovely.
Is it physical gig?
They're in one of the Origins videos.
Okay. Right.
So I
So
think we will see
okay.
the Seven Towers.
Cool.
you know, and those are near lakes, presumably, and so we're gonna get some water fixtures somewhere at some point.
I want a
Yeah.
worm.
Fizzle Gig pointing
That
out
would be
more.
Yes.
amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I'm with you on that.
That would be
Yes.
so,
The
that would
physical
be so
comment-
cool.
the
Of course,
physical
somebody's
comment's
going to be
got me
like,
cracking
that's
up.
just Dune. And I'll be like, yes, Dune influenced a lot after it
Or
happened.
Beetlejuice.
In fact, it is just Dune.
Beetlejuice.
You're right.
Either
It
Dune
is
or
Dune.
Beetlejuice.
Are we
One of
mad
the
about
two.
that? Fizzlegig, I agree. Moiraine did make a mistake going into the blight with her hair down. I don't think I would have done it. Probably would have braided
Yeah.
it.
Shit's gonna get caught in everything.
All right, so it has been almost 2 hours. At some point
Yes.
in this stream, we need to drop a spoiler bulkhead to just finally just kind of eject some things that were on our mind, particularly probably in this situation, having to do with Min's viewings for the most part for me.
Triangles.
So
How much can we spoil?
we can
Full spoil.
I'm pulling up the spoiler
Full.
warning. We can spoil to the end of the series. So if you don't want
Into the
to
book
be
series?
into the book
Yes.
series. I put up the spoiler warning. Like, I'm telling everyone in the chat right now, if you haven't read to the end of the books, we are going to say some things. We might say some things that have to do all the way to the end of the books. So I love that you were here. We are so grateful. And we'll be back next week at 7:30 Central Time. All of our information is in the description. And be looking for a cooking video on all of our YouTube pages, except Sarah's, because she's not in the cooking video, but we love her and she has other YouTube videos. And that will be coming out probably in the next day or two at the latest.
Yes.
So, okay, you have been sufficiently warned. The spoiler tag is up. Now we can spoil shit. Okay, so so I saw something that I really liked about the baby, that it was Egwene's, and that like in Egwene's accepted test, where she sees herself having a baby, Joya, Rand might get tempted by Ishii with like this alternate reality that involves Egwene and a
That's
baby.
interesting.
I thought it was a really cool theory. So anyway.
It's an interesting
really
theory.
interesting.
I mean, it's wrong, but it's cool.
Ooh, what's your
Yeah.
theory?
It's Min's babby.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I thought too. It seemed implied in the episode that it was her baby.
That it was Min's.
I think the episode implies Min. I think this is the way that they chose to visualize Min's viewing, that they would end up with Rand. They would end up falling in love with Rand.
Agreed.
They chose this way, but I think it's Min's babby.
Even though in the books Min doesn't have a baby, we don't care about that. We're not worried about the books.
Well,
I don't think it has to be literal. I don't
Okay.
want Min to have a babby because I respect. Well, I think Min in the
mean-
books does want to have children. Actually, like I think Min talks about that. I prefer a Min who doesn't want children, but that's just me. That's my own personal bias coming through.
I vaguely recall from, oh my gosh, you guys are, okay, Vernon, Smurm, Small Worms, The Bride is Too Dense with a $5 in Super Chat, thank you so much. And then Zeus Sadai comes in with a €5. Have to say, thought this was cool.
Ooh,
Moiraine doesn't touch the
exotic.
branches, uses her sleeves to move the branches. That's a good point. Don't touch anything in the blight, because it might touch you back. That's a weird way to put it, but yeah, like that. It's a good point. But I remember from the books Min drinking the tea so she wouldn't get pregnant. Like I feel like I've heard I'm remembering, and dear God, if I'm remembering wrong, apologies, dear creator.
with Rand or before she met Rand?
I thought it was when she was with Rand because I was like, how has she not gotten pregnant yet?
That's true.
And then I could have
She doesn't
sworn
wanna
she was drinking tea. Judy,
I think you're
She doesn't want
right.
to get pregnant before Tarmin Gaidon.
I mean,
but I
that's a
do
good
think
point.
she like wants a family with Rand down the line.
That's a fair assessment. Judy, thank you. We love that you're here with the $5 in Super Chat. Thanks for doing them. Now supporting you on Patreon. Judy, welcome to the Critter
Oh,
fam,
yeah.
and
That is
or
amazing.
thank you for becoming a Critter bestie. You're lovely, and I'm super happy to have you here. Zeus and I with free chat. Yes, it's late here.
Reach.
Oh yeah, because it's the Euros or whatever. That's a good point. Probably, I
amazing.
don't know what time it is over there, but wow, thank you for
It's
being
5 hours
here.
from now, so it's 3 in the morning.
Wow, dang.
Yeah, late.
Super cool.
So I okay. So you guys are saying it's Min's. That's fair.
Part of the
It's
triangle.
totally fair. But then we got the three beautiful women thing, which was different, but still related to that. Obviously, we all know, anybody who read the books, that's Avienda, Elaine, and Min, and straight out of the books, which we love. Rainbows and carnivals, though. The carnivals. Sarah, did you have a thought about what that was?
The carnivals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a mispronunciation of Carnival. I think this was a foreshadowing of the fact that Pipe Rand, post Harmon Gaidon Rand, has separated himself from the pattern completely, is immortal, and does attend a Brazilian carnival in 4 turnings. 4 ages, tints.
Wow.
Nice.
You know what? I'm gonna go
What
ahead
is he
and-
wearing? What is he wearing?
I want to watch that.
I'm gonna sign off
Yeah.
on that. I think that's great.
I'm gonna watch that. Please.
Oh, and you know what? Rainbows actually in another turning. Rand goes to Pride in San Francisco.
Pride.
Easy. Like that's clearly what's happening.
That's exactly it. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Let's all go.
As it relates,
actual carnival
yeah.
within the books.
Sure.
Okay. I saw some people suggest that it sounded like the Four Gate in Kyrian when he's there.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh,
think it
yeah.
could just be like people celebrating his victory. Could be him joining Val and Luca's circus. I don't know why he would do that, but it
That
could
would be different, but okay.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
the one festival in Carrion and
That's what she said. Yeah, that was the
Okay,
first.
I missed that. Sorry.
You're good. Sometimes we get distracted.
I started thinking about
That's-
I thought she had said the Abu Dar one, but I misheard that. Sorry.
No. I don't give a fuck about Abu Dar. I would never bring it up.
The bowl
No,
that
I
wins
promise,
can
Abu
suck it.
Dar. Tavern from Abu Dar.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I do though think the rainbows are. I think it's Dragonmount, Zinrand, Enlightenment scene.
Strands of gold, right?
Mm.
Veins of gold.
Veins
That's
of
the
gold,
chapter.
yeah.
Yeah. I think whenever I heard that, I thought it was the Ruidian scene. Whenever Rand brings the water up and restarts the fountains, because I vaguely remember, but some people have agreed with me that in that scene they described like rainbows being cast everywhere by the water that was coming up into this sort of like magical scene. And I think that the Aiel scene, him coming out the Kara Karn, is kind of a linchpin, like a very crucial moment in the entire series. So I think it would make sense for Min to have a viewing related to that.
Could it mean the Aes Sedai following him?
I just noticed Luke Ice Jedi in chat saying, yeah, Rainbow meeting the Seven Ajas, maybe. Could be.
Yeah,
I think as Boggy points out, though, it also could entirely be a lie. Min is very happy to lie about what they're seeing.
It's a one truth, two
true.
lies game. Yeah, 2 truths and a
Yeah.
lie. That's what that's what it's called. Wait, no, 2 lies and a truth. Shoot. Okay, I get what you're saying. No, that's a good point. So there was that, and then there was another viewing. The Egwene with a white flame. I'm sure some people would interpret that as, she's gonna be an Aes Sedai. And for me, I was like,
and the Ring of Gold.
oh, the spoilers for the end of the series. Spoilers for the end of the series. For me, I was like, she's the flame.
Yeah.
She is the flame. Like I don't know.
For sure.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to that. And then the Lan's ring is gold, right? So the gold ring was that for Nynaeve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For Nynaeve,
Ghost.
yes.
Yeah.
That was pretty much along with Perrin's. That was the clearest viewing of all of the ones that she gave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flame Candy Simo. That was what I was over here just like, I can't talk about this in any of my non-spoiler stuff, but I'm so excited because Egwene's my favorite character.
Yes.
So yeah, my heart. My heart. And then was there anything else that any more viewings of Min's that I'm missing? Oh, Swan being Moraine's not Swan. The Amerlin in full
Amerlin.
regalia.
Yeah.
Being Moraine's downfall. So what do we think that is?
Elida.
You think it's Elida? Because they did mention in their little powwow in episode 6 the fact that if anybody found out about their scheme together, that it would be both of their downfall. And so I thought I agree that Elida's a strong option, but I thought maybe that's an option also.
Kev, we've already covered this. Yeah, it's obvious that Min's lying. She doesn't know whose baby it is. It's clearly Matt and Rand.
Oh, you're from the chat. Yeah. So if it's not Elida, this falls as part of my pseudo triangle theory, right? So we have this is the geometry lesson of theories here.
Here we go.
So we have Egwene, Fane, and Perrin is one, right? That was kind of hinted at, and the one that kind of pissed off a lot of people. Then we have the Lan, Nynaeve, Moiraine triangle. isn't really a triangle, but there's 3 people involved in that, right?
Fair.
At least maybe in Nynaeve's head. We have, of course, Avienda, Elaine, and Min. So the 3 beautiful women triangle mentioned here. And then we also,
That's not a triangle though.
No, it's not, but it's a 3. I know
But it's a 4-person relationship.
I get that. But and then the again, the theory thing is, if you look at it where it's not Elida, it would be like Tom, Moiraine, and Siuan. Right? And so that was that whole conversation that one guy was having me on Twitter about, oh, would she be cheating?
She's never met Tom, so they can move on
Exactly.
with their lives.
Well,
Like-
Exactly.
Critter, to be clear, a woman owes it to her future husband to be chaste and pure.
You can stop right now, Sarah. I don't want to hear any of that.
Sorry, chat. I'm lying. Chat, don't listen. Don't internalize that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I honestly thought that's where the next comment was gonna be from that guy on Twitter. I was like waiting for it just to slam him down, and I was like, "You fucking moron."
Faithfully, 3 is basically 4, Sarah. So how dare you say that?
That's true. It is 3 if you ignore the 4th member.
Oh no.
Anyways,
We did
Sorry.
get.
those were all
That's
the
not
triples,
nice.
the triples, the 3s.
No, I'm
that I
sorry.
saw.
There's a lot of big groups. All right, I did want to say, Richard J super chatted for $4.99. I missed the beginning. Is there any discussion of next episode's cold opening? LTT, man who can't forget book prologue. Thankfully shortened. Love the stream. Thank you, Richard J, for the super chat.
Meme
That's
Reborn.
a good question. Oh, do we got something from Meme Reborn? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. The Meme Reborn is super chat at $10. Winespring Cafe recipes are the best on earth. Message paid for by Vernon Copland. Thanks, Vernon and Meme Reborn. I agree. Go to winespringcafe.com for all your best Wheel of Time related recipes and just recipes generally that have Wheel
Thank
of Time
you.
names.
Go there now.
Too
well,
late.
not right now. Don't go right there.
Yeah.
But to seriously engage with your triangle theory, George, I see no way that no, like the way that they've set up Moiraine as a love to last through ages and through reincarnations. No, Tom is gone.
Think he's
Tom
out of it?
Rain. Oh, I mean Tom is a character, but Tom.
No,
and
I'm
Moiraine?
saying the relationship.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Tom and Gareth Bryn could end up together, but no, Moiraine and Siuan are
That would be something.
I wouldn't be opposed
Moiraine and
to
Siuan are in game.
being cast in the Wheel of Time and then being in a relationship with Tom. Me,
Yeah, sure.
my character, whoever that happens to be. Maybe it'll be Brigitta. But that wouldn't make sense
Yeah.
because she likes
Go
ugly
for
dudes
it.
and he's a total babe.
Yeah. You
But-
know my favorite Tom theory I've seen recently?
Yeah.
Tom is Asmodean.
So he actually, because I've seen, like, wouldn't it be so amazing if Tom was an actual dark friend who made it all the way to the last battle, was at the mouth of of the, Shia Ghul, the candy, the whatever the fuck, the path that Rand walks down. Why can I not think of this? Is it just Shia Ghul? Why am I not? Whatever. The boar.
Shia Ghul, yeah.
He goes down into there, and Tom is supposed to be watching their backs, and he's just like, come on in. How
Frickin'
insane.
people.
Wouldn't that be insane?
I think they could do a Tom is Asmodean play and just like have Tom join them on their journey to the Aiel Waste, and then basically from there on, Tom takes over the plot point of that bard that Asmodean's pretending to be,
That's cool.
and then
That'd
he's
be really cool.
yeah,
That is cool.
because you don't really
just to-
need Tom after
No,
that point.
especially if he's not going to be with Moiraine, and even if he was, because nobody liked that anyways.
No, bad ship.
Sarah, just so you know, I make it my job to find the most ridiculous theories possible and bring them to light here,
Okay.
so that people can talk shit and stuff. So yes, absolutely. Half the stuff I say, don't believe.
Oh, I don't think she's coming for what you're saying. I think she's coming
No,
with
no,
a
I know.
new harebrained theory, and by
No,
harebrained,
the
I mean
Tom theory
fascinating.
is great. No, the Tom theory, I love that theory of Asmodean. But it also plays into what I was saying about Alucia possibly being Forsaken.
Yes, I
the
think Faithfully points out in the chat. Sorry, but Faith said her dad, who is a non-reader, was like, "Wait, is Tom that guy, that little statue with the guitar? Is that Tom?" And so, yeah, Faith's non-reader
Mm.
dad is the OG
Picking
theorizer
up
of Tom.
on it.
That's a good one. That's a
Um,
good one.
Very interesting.
all right, so I do want to address Kritter J's question. We haven't talked about the cold open yet. Before I do, though, Vernon Copland, thanks again for the another $10 in Super Chat. Found that few purists this weekend, dudes enjoy the content, and no Bartanis. I have no idea what that means. Bartanis. Am I blanking? Like, what is
No, Bartanis.
I don't know who Bartanis is. Somebody.
It's a World of Warcraft character.
Oh.
Okay. Well, let's learn a little bit about Bartanis. Nope. Okay. Don't know. This person is level 133 on World of Warcraft.
Oh, damn.
What was Matt's buddy?
Barthanis, is that?
Barthanis is what I was thinking. Maybe that's what he means, Barthanis.
Barthanis Amadred.
Oh, I liked him. He was cool. And I assume that you're saying that you enjoy the content, and thank you very much, Vernon. We appreciate you. But okay, to address, what do we think the cold open's going to be? Are we going to get the prologue?
Oh, for the next.
Oh, I hope so.
I know, me too. I would love some Age of
I
Legends.
vote for that.
I would like to see Adam Fane's backstory.
Okay.
I keep seeing him pop up, and I'd like to see the whole turned into a hound thing.
I think that's some season 2 stuff.
You think it's
Personally.
season 2?
I think Cold Open is Luz Theron Telamon, the chat help me out because I could never Latra Pozai.
I always forget her name too.
I can never.
So
I always want to call her
never.
Laura
Good
Dern.
job.
Luz Theron
Laura Dern.
Telamon and Laura Dern duking it out in the Hall of Servants, and then I think maybe we'll get either right then or later Luz Theron triumphantly sealing the boar, and I don't think we will get Eye of the World prologue until Rand is at the Eye of the World and Ishamael is telling him that story.
Wow. We just got a whole Latra Pose de Kume.
Very
Thanks, Hybrid
specific.
There we go, Hybrid Havoc. Thank you.
Havoc. Sith Guy says, I was team prologue till I heard Pad and Fane background. That was something I haven't considered, but I now want that to be a cold open sometime. I agree though.
Yeah.
I want some loose. I want some Age of Legends in this episode. I think we're gonna get Age of Legends at the beginning, and we're gonna get Shan Chan at the end, and it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, I agree with the Shan Chen at the end. Completely agree with that.
Let's see.
Wow.
And I think it's just going to be the ships just coming in.
Yeah, nothing. Very brief.
Okay. Gotcha.
Sarah.
Noise.
Jay said, Luz Theron Telamon, man who can't forget, book prologue thankfully shortened. And I take umbrage with that comment because I love the Eye of the World prologue. And
Oh, that's what you meant.
I want it to be 40 minutes long. I want 40 minutes of Eye of the World prologue, and I want 20 minutes of the rest of the dumb bullshit that I don't care about.
In fact, I want
I
the
don't
Winter
know if I
Dragon
believe
to
you.
be pulled straight from YouTube and to be the cold open. But again, I believe the Winter Dragon is like 30 minutes long, if I'm not mistaken. So that should take about half the
Literally,
episode.
listen, they could save money and just take Winter Dragon and just place it in the first half of the next episode.
I think that's what Critter just said. I think that would be
What you just said?
Hey,
fantastic.
listening
never mind.
is important.
Sorry.
Tavern.
I was in my own train of thought.
You're
and
fine.
never mind.
I find myself like reading chat. It's tough. It's a tough thing to focus on. All
I was
once.
sketching.
The Clyde Complex brings up something important, like a good point. I feel like non-readers are going to want some payoff. Oh, Sarah, yes, go ahead. Your hand is raised.
The Winter Dragon is unironically good. Like, the script is good. The dialogue between Ishamael and Luz Theron is good. It was just filmed poorly, and
You're
the
right.
CGI was bad.
Agreed.
100% agree. I mean, it's basically
liked it.
line for line,
It's the
almost
prologue.
from the prologue. Yeah, like it's. So as far as Fane goes, though, like maybe they're going to smash all of this stuff together because we get Fane is in Faldara. We could get like present day Fane in the final episode easily enough. He could create some major shenanigans in the town itself, or like in the keep or whatever.
Yeah.
So. Hybrid Havoc says he almost quoted Critter verbatim. I think you internalized what I said.
Maybe subconsciously listening while I was doing something else. Yeah, possibly. Do you think?
That's flattery, right?
I
That's
think
all that
so.
is.
is.
Yeah, I think it is.
Do you think that this turning that Fane is the reason the Trollocs attack Tarwin Gap.
Oh,
He
Tarwin
seems to
Gap.
be, yeah, he seems to be the precursor
Harbinger
or
of chaos.
the harbinger of these attacks. So
I mean, he might
think that's a
activate the
possibility?
homing beacon, bring him in. I
Yeah.
don't see why that wouldn't be what happens.
you got the bat signal.
Yeah, something.
If
Yeah.
he's here. He's here. Come get him. He's as close as he's ever going to be to the blight.
That really could be.
I think with Fane, no, I don't think he's that. I mean, Fane is in Faldara in the books, and Fane causes the darkfriends who invade Faldara at the beginning of the Great Hunt. Like, he orchestrated all that. And I think that will still happen. I'm still holding out hope for Gollum Smeagol Fane because I don't want Fane just to be an arrogant cocky dick. I need my beggar hound as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think if
Honestly,
we see
yeah.
anything of Fane next episode, it will just be like at the end as a hook going into season 2. Like, we'll get the Eye of the World battle. We'll get the I think we've won, right? That was weirdly easy moment. I think we'll see Pat and Fane maybe doing some sneaky shit around Faldara Keep, letting some Trollocs into Faldara Keep, maybe as a teaser for season 2. And I do think we'll get Shan Chan ships, but I think we'll see a one power fight, either with some Sea Folk Windfinders or
That'd be cool.
Oh,
But
that would be
that
awesome.
might
Yeah.
be cold open for season 2. But
Like the assault
I
on
said it-
Falma, right? Because that was kind of their
Yeah.
first landing.
I just think like in a world where everything is magic.
In a
like,
world. Sorry, go ahead.
in a world. I just think a fleet of ships is not very
Woke me
scary
up.
in this world.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's fair.
So unless we see them do magic, because otherwise, like, why am I afraid for the ice to
Mhm.
die by a bunch of ships? But if I see that they have Damane, then I'm scared.
Claude
Mhm.
Complex thinks we'll see Megan get
Ready
collared,
for that.
which would be interesting because we've seen Megan. She was like a sitter, you know. That's a solid channeler.
Yeah.
If she goes down.
Mhm.
So yeah, okay. So Fane's gonna have something. He's gonna do something, whether he's in the cold open or not. I think it would be really cool to have the League of Legends, the Age of Legends in the cold open,
League of Legends.
especially because
Honestly, if Luz
Anybody be
there
my
were brought into
enemy?
League of Legends, I'd be so happy.
yeah, same.
It would be, I guess Nynaeve would be Jinx. No. With the hair tugging.
I was always Tristana back in the day, so I think like that fits because if I were to cosplay, I would cosplay Brigitta, you know, so like a ranged. It works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I know she's terrible. Like I don't
It
want to
works.
talk. Well, we should talk. Oh, go ahead.
Nynaeve
Listen,
is
I know it's
clearly
a different show. I know it's a totally different show, but freaking go watch Arcane on Netflix. Holy shit, that thing is amazing.
It's very good.
Anyways,
Nynaeve is a heal slut support. Like, we're talking like a Soraka maybe.
Mhm,
For
mhm.
Nynaeve.
Holy hell, this is a TikTok waiting to happen. Like what which league character is your is the Wheel of Time? All right, Zeus and I in super chat
Do
$5
it.
€5. I want the Lan Rand training scene. I do too.
Agreed.
I love all of
Season
those
2, baby.
scenes.
Mhm.
I'm hoping for season 2. Since we haven't gotten it yet and it seems like we're not going to get it this season. So we'll
Shirtless
see.
sword fighting on top of Faldara Keep is a must. And if I know anything about Rafe, if I know Rafe as well as I think I do, we're gonna get shirtless Lan Rand sword fighting training montage on top of Faldara Keep.
Fingers
That's awesome.
crossed. Fingers crossed. Now I feel like
I was gonna say I'm right there with Sarah on. I want to see crazy Fane.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like, okay, he's failed or whatever while he's this close to the border and he gets yanked to Shadow Ghoul and we actually get to see the Gollum being tortured type scene and him turning into a hound or whatever, that would be amazing. But probably one of the characters that I'm expecting the most from in this series is to see how he portrays the different phases of Fane. Because right now we're just getting the same. I want to see him lose his shit.
Yeah. Wasn't
waiting for
he in something like where he was like awesome? I never mind. I don't know enough. I don't have enough information to have said any of that. Vernon Copland in $5 in the super chat. Moving on from what I just said. Sorry, not Bartanis. Talmanis and Tom. I hate messing up the joke. Talmanis is one of my favorite characters. He's top 10 for me, even though we don't get him until later. I love Talmanis and like the I think it's a prologue or like that entire sequence of him defending Caemlyn in one of the later books was so good.
Yes.
I love him so much. Zeus and I, free chat. I'll add, I want to see Rand holding the sword right. That scene in Tarvalon looks so funny. Yeah, I mean, he does seem very untrained. So far.
Ready for that.
So I'm also ready for that.
Yeah.
Cinna is a good call for Nynaeve.
Oh my gosh! All right. So I've been racking my brain for YouTube videos to do off season, and now I feel like a Sara, Kritter, any other League player collab of who the Wheel of Time characters are in League of Legends is happening. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know them enough. I honestly don't know them enough. Listen, after seeing who they've got to play guitar, I hate the fact that this show is making me love people that I know are gonna freaking break my heart in one way or another. Like, we fell in love with Dana, and then that shit happened, and then we actually love Leandrin.
God, she's so good. Yeah, I miss
her. We love Alana, and I'm like, you mother. So mad at them right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think we're finally getting hints of Alana's like shrewdness, though, where she was like she backed up Leandrin, you know, like in the but then she went right back to being besties with Moiraine. So she maneuvers in and out
sides of the fence,
of situations, which is very her. You know, she does what she thinks she needs to do. Also, I can kind of see if she thinks Moiraine is dead, that she would. We're full spoilers, everyone, just so you know.
On hands.
If she thinks Moiraine is dead, that she would bond Rand, you know, as like somebody's got to watch this kid, you know, like I don't know, like I'm not forgiving it, never in my life, like ever, but I could see her character doing that because she's like the warder wrangler, basically.
Yeah, Candy.
So
same Candy Simo, same.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. Rand is a really well, as long as we all agree. I tend to agree with that. Maidens and Spear in the comments. In the chat. So let's see. Hybrid Havoc thinks the block for Nynaeve is already in place. She wants her to fail at channeling at a key moment in episode 8 to be her motivation for going to the White Tower to train. That's really interesting. Like, we get Nynaeve essentially Deus Ex Machina-ing all over the place this whole season. It would be interesting to see her weak, you know, because we haven't gotten that yet at all.
She's coming clutch, sure, at the right moments, and that needs to falter.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Wow, Faithly. I don't appreciate that comment one bit. Eggy is Karthus, you know, because she's dead. Not into it. Not into it.
I'll tell you right now, Chad.
That's pretty good, honestly.
Listen, I'll tell you right now. Don't bring Egwin in any negative light.
No, we're allowed to talk about her.
Yeah, but you're gonna get saucy. You're gonna get saucy.
Yeah,
I felt it personally.
If you want to bring out the sharper the fangs from me, start disparaging my girl, and I'm happy to come. I'm happy to debate. You're allowed to have opinions, though. Don't ever forget that.
Just not about Egwene.
No, you're allowed to have opinions. I will debate you out of them happily. But you're allowed to have them. We have another super chat, Altonac. $5. Thank you so much. While the books didn't fully justify it, I always loved Tom and Moiraine. They're a great match, and Swan and Gareth are my favorite ship. That is an unpopular opinion, my friend, but I appreciate you for having it.
I thought it was a cute ship. I don't know if it was the greatest, but I thought it was cute the way that she handled it. Swan handled that whole
Swan and Gareth. I did too, I guess, when it comes to like how she just basically like banged her head against the fact that she was in love with him. Like was a nice little dynamic. I've just always been on Team Soiraine, so all of that was like somebody
explain whole because I've read. Okay, so I'm on my third read, Sarah. So you know I'm on my third read. I'm like on book 10 right now or something. And I had a big gap in between, so I don't remember a whole lot of the stuff. Before book 10 now, I'm pretty on point. But when did the whole Moiraine and Tom thing happen. I know that they had some conversations throughout, but
When did it happen, or like
I,
when
I,
was
did,
it
I
made
didn't see that. I didn't see that whole thing coming from the moment that they were just talking, and then here's a letter for this guy that I'm in love with, or I'm going to be in love with, or whatever, and he goes and rescues her at the tower. When did
Right.
that occur? Because it was
I
kind of
mean,
like
there are hints for it starting in book 1. Like, you can see it when you know it's coming. I think you can see it starting to come, and then by the shadow rising, Moiraine is like, "Well, I already know the man I'm gonna marry, and I bet
right. I remember that.
you
Right.
bitches can say that." Uh, so like,
Mm.
it exists. I just think it's poorly established and
Yeah.
unjustified.
I just want to make
Apparently,
sure that I wasn't missing shit.
no, apparently, I think in Eye of the World, he makes a comment like, she's a good-looking woman or some random bullshit
Oh
like
yeah,
that. Like,
He does.
he
Yes.
does. And then in the Great Hunt, when Rand sees him again in Kyrian, he's like, "How is more?" And it describes how he's being extra casual and asking about it.
yeah, I remember that. So it's there, but it's
Wow.
not great.
Raccoon Ghost.
Whoa. Raccoon Ghost with a 20 SEK. I don't know what that is.
South Korean? No, it's not South Korean. What is
Um,
SEK? Yeah. Hold on.
Wherever that's from, thank you so much. Feel free to include a chat next time. We would be happy to
never
highlight
mind.
your
My
thoughts.
fault.
What
That's
is
Swedish krona.
it? Swedish krona. What's up? Oh my gosh, from Sweden.
My apologies.
Sweden. I would have always wanted to visit Sweden. Someday. The hints for Tom and
Swedish
Moiraine are
krona.
more subtle than Perrin crushing on Egwene. Hybrid Havoc. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. They're not there. All right, fam, we've gone way over our anticipated 2 hours. I feel like that is becoming a thing that keeps happening, but it's that's okay because a classic Robert Jordan love
It's fun.
story, says High Lord Salmon. You're right. That's exactly what that is. Thank you everyone in the chat for saying it's... Oh, Sarah, what?
My computer has been freaking out this entire time, and I guess my like start bar is frozen. So I was checking the time, and I was like, "Oh, it's 6:52." I don't know what you're talking about, Kritter. Has it been 2 hours? But it has been 6:52 for a while, I guess. So.
It has been 2.5 hours almost to the dot.
MA Arrow, to be fair, RJ was weak on relationships. Yes. And I think that is maybe the theme of this this whole thing. Vernon Copland with another 5, the door frames and the crystal things.
I'm a little afraid of the next comment just below that, where it says Padden Phantom Dread.
Whoa, that would be something.
I don't
It's
what?
disturbing.
Padden Phanum Dread. So instead of
Phantom Dread
With Galad, Padden Fane with
A
Galad.
mouthful.
with Galad.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure, why not?
That's right.
I would actually rather see him with Gowan. Really, I'd rather see him with Gowan because he was useless.
Okay, the Raccoon Ghost didn't include a chat with their donation, but they do ask, do they think... So last question, because we have to stop this at some point.
Yep.
Even though I love all of you, and I'm so happy we did this, and it was super fun.
Yeah.
But Raccoon Ghost says, do you think they'll change Rand's love quad in any way? Like maybe having Avienda and Elaine be in a relationship as well? That is my goal, my hope. And Rafe...
So,
Oh.
sorry, just to clarify, are you saying that the 3 women have relationships amongst themselves aside from Rand as well? Is that what she's...
The question is,
At
will they
least-
change it at all? And I think yes.
Okay.
I think Elaine and Avienda will be explicitly romantic because Rafe, in an interview before the show was released, was asked about the love dynamic that Rand has, and he said he was interested in exploring something that's more like polyamory rather than this what it is. And so yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. Sarah,
Okay.
it sounded like you had thoughts.
I think it's very possible they end up together. I do want to push back on the idea that even if it is the 3 of them dating Rand, that's not also a totally legitimate form of polyamory. Like,
Yeah.
polyamory just means not ethical, consensual non-monogamy. So
Mm-hmm.
if Avienda and Elaine want to date each other as well, hell yeah. But
yeah.
if they don't, I think that's okay too.
I feel like that is one of the relationships that Robert Jordan actually set a foundation for and then did not follow through. And so that's part of the reason that I'm on team Rand and Elaine, Rand and Avienda, Rand and Min, Aviendha and Elaine, because I feel like there's
Mm-hmm.
room for that, and it makes sense in the context of the books. I know some people push back on that because they became first sisters, but I feel like that is an easy thing to tweak to make it less weird. You know.
So did Bane and Chia.
I always thought that first sisters.
True.
I mean, I always thought the first sisters.
Point made.
Agreed that that was the big relationship, but I wouldn't see why they wouldn't share, the husband and whatnot, like they kind of went into in the book. So
It was like the idea is they say that because they became first sisters, it would be like incestuous for them to be together, which.
Who said that?
People.
The comment.
The general population online.
Yeah, they're idiots. They're idiots.
They
Cool.
say.
What is it? The pervasive. I don't know. The they.
They.
So yeah. Keeper says free chat. There was a season finale commercial on Monday Night Football, and that's awesome.
Don't tell me about it. I'm not listening.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're good. We don't have to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. Very exciting that they're pushing out ads is basically all I'm going to say about that. It seems like it's getting a lot of positive reception, which makes me really happy. I want it to last forever, as long as it's appropriate. At least 7 minimum, probably 8 or 9 or 10 seasons. And we're not going to talk about the contents of the thing because Sarah's avoiding spoilers. So.
You can talk. I can mute myself and you can talk about it.
That's okay.
We're
going to
calling
sign
it
off.
quits, yeah.
I think we're going to use that. We're going to use the last donation from Vernon Coplin, which we really appreciate. $5 in super chat. Lemon character holding his hand in front of his mouth, grinning. Lemon character holding his hand in front of his mouth, grinning.
I love Lemon character.
Lemon character is my favorite character in the books, actually.
Yeah. Same. I mean, wait. Read the comment again. I can only see Discord right
There's
now.
no comment. It's just an emoji of a lemon-headed character.
Oh, it's an emoji.
What?
Oh, you were getting the description of it.
What the hell?
In Streamlabs, it literally, and I quote, says lemon character holding his hand in.
Okay, it's a sticker. It is a super sticker.
Thank you, Vernon. Oh my.
Awesome.
Now I know that that's a thing where I get the descriptions of stickers that get posted. Thank you so much for the.
I am really excited to see what they do with Lemon character though.
Again, favorite character from the book. All right. On that note, I'm gonna say this is it. I think we're gonna call it. Thank you guys so much. Oh. I just want to say that episode 7 was the best episode, hands down, objectively. And
oh yeah, where was the fight I was promised?
I mean, we've been fighting this whole
We got
time.
carried away with other crap, but
Tavern disagrees. Your favorite is 5. Is that right?
it's 5.
Okay.
My favorite
Which
is
one
5.
was 5? I don't even remember.
It's the
Warrior episode.
The Warder episode, stepping, sighting, and all that stuff.
It's a take.
Sarah, what's your favorite episode so far?
I think as an episode of television, 3 was the best. I think 4 and 6 were personal favorites, but I do think 7 was good.
Okay, fair.
I think all of them except for 1 was bad. That 1 was bad. All the rest of them have been fine.
1 was my least favorite, so I'll agree with you to that extent, at least. Winespring, what about you?
I think it's 4 and 5 for me. I can't really decide between the two. I like them
thought
both a
7
lot.
was your favorite. Okay, so we're all different. Look at us, kind of.
A lot of
Uh,
great stuff happens in 7. It just didn't have enough room to breathe.
It was
Great.
a bit
It
of a
didn't.
cluster.
I agree with that.
And 5, mine is 5 because of personal reasons, because I felt it the most.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
no, that's totally
The
fair.
whole with the whole PTSD issues and stuff.
Yeah.
That's where it came from.
No, I mean 5 was very
Loved it.
very good episode of television, and
Yeah.
Seven's arc is super poignant.
Yeah.
I just
I did enjoy 7. I never said it was the worst. I just like 5 the most.
I do like seeing in the chat and here that we all have different episodes. That means that they're
Yeah.
doing a great job over there. They're pinging
Yes.
different people in different ways, which is perfect. Vernon Coplin with a $5 super chat. LOL. Agreed, Vernon. LOL.
That's actually not what it says. There's a character on there.
Stop. No, it would be quoted. No. I think. Is there really?
I'm kidding.
I'm not gonna trust anything I see.
Vernon, you're right. It is time to play League of Legends.
Okay,
Oh.
one last thing. Wow, wow, wow.
Oh,
Raccoon
that-
Ghost
yeah.
with the Swedish kroner, $20. Will Moiraine die next episode? Dear God, I hope not.
Oh no, no. I think that goes
Yes.
to the spoiler from
Yes.
I think so,
the background stuff.
Are you
Episode
spoiling
3.
stuff for me right now?
No, background stuff. Like
When
behind
Grace
the
said
scenes
that
stuff.
the crew was upset when they said somebody died in at the end of episode 3 or whatever.
Season 3.
Sorry, yeah, season 3. Sorry, yeah. So I'm like,
yeah.
that's where I was thinking it was going to happen.
Okay, but Winespring, you think she's gonna die?
Interesting. Oh no, I don't.
Oh.
I'm just messing with you guys.
I feel like that would be such a hard thing to hide.
I'm a little sleepy.
I was about to say we're
I
staying
know.
for
I've
a whole
seen a few
other
people
goddamn hour to
genuinely
discuss
believe
that.
it, so.
It's just because I feel like we would know that
Just
Rosamund
kidding.
Pike wasn't filming. You know what I mean? If she died,
Yeah.
that would be a thing we would know in advance. So that's my only
But-
reason I think no.
She comes back as a one-power ghost.
She could come back as a one-power ghost.
Oh, no.
All right. On that
Don't do
note, we've literally got to sign
Don't
off.
do that.
You guys
Yeah,
have
we gotta
been
go.
amazing. Everybody super chatting. Everybody in the regular chats, in the free chats, subscriptions, follows. You guys have been great. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us on the
Thank you so much
cold
for having me.
the cold open with the maiden. We get a maiden
Amazing.
of the spear right after
Right.
raising more than $15,000 for the Trevor Project. We
Congratulations, that was
Look,
incredible.
people out there, it's not. You don't have to stop donating just because our fundraiser's over. You can
This
go
is
to
true.
our
I'm
website
almost-
right now. And
I'm
donate.
almost tempted to get a damn dragon tattoo just because you made that goal.
This is true. So again,
Good
thanks
marriage.
Sarah. Winespring, as always, it was a pleasure. Tavern, amazing. Everybody, thank you so much. We love you all. And until next week, Wheel and Chill. We'll be back 7:30 Central.